Jason is here.
All right, there we go. We had an opening. I think it was a little too quiet. Maybe it was too quiet. Was it too quiet? Let me know in the chat because it sounded too quiet. Wow. That's Dave Filoni. Did you know that, Rob? You know that's actually Dave Filoni?
No, it'd be like wow. Come on, Jason.
That's the power of sound engineering, Rob. They're able to take out the sass. So
no one could take out the sass. It's like trying to get rid of George Lucas's great hair. You can't do it.
You can't do it. You could try.
Can't do it. Yeah, life can't even do it. Everything else might fall apart on Lucas. His writing ability, his control of Lucasfilm, right? His questionable taste in experimental videos, which yet they even see. But his hair stands, Jason.
The one thing Marsha couldn't take. One thing Marsha can never take. So yeah,
she took half his hair, but you can't see the other half. Is the problem. Holy ball down there.
But
we need that Price is Right sound.
but I think I can do it. I think I can. I think with my new AI abilities, I can make anything happen. Yeah. So last night, we had the new episode. I wanted to do the episode last night, but I was like, I was tired. I had a long day, and I was like, by the time I got to the show, it was like 9:00 my time. It was like midnight on the East Coast. It's like, we'll just wait until this morning, and then that way at least everybody will have seen it. The hilarious thing that's been the current trend is like I'll call the episode, was it any good? And then I'll have like, did they find Ezra this week? You know what I mean? Because like that's sort of like a joke before I've seen it, and then it comes out at 6:00, and then these people go and then they start like trying to yell at me like I spoiled them, or like how dare I? And it's like it comes out at 6:00. If it's important to you, sit your fat fucking ass down and watch it at 6:00, like I try to do too. And if I can't, you know what I don't do? I don't go on Twitter until I watch the episode. That's what I did. And if they won't do it, I don't care. So
I like how on one hand, they get fucking butthurt about how like you're somehow spoiling some experience for them. Meanwhile, if I'm like, none of this fucking relationship shit in this show makes any sense. And they go, well, you didn't watch 7 seasons of the cartoon. You don't understand. And it's just like,
yes.
No.
Thank you. No. You need to start watching the cartoon or you will, so you understand.
Oh, I understand. I understand how it's written. That's I know what to expect. Yeah.
Yeah. No. It's true. And we're going to get into like the minutia of those things as we dig into it. And like, and this is something though that like Tomas says, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't great. Crazy great. I give it a 7 out of 10. Last week was like a 9 out of 10 in my humble opinion, or in my horny. I think he says in my horny opinion. No. The last week's though was like the exposition of the bad guys and getting them into place, and then this time was the exposition of the good guys in a way to get them into place. And this happens every single time Filoni is running a cartoon or a show, or like in this instance Ahsoka. This is the only live action show he's actually done. But this happens every single time, whether it was Clone Wars, whether it was Rebels, and then this one every single season. So it's like every single time we get to the part where people are getting intrigued, and then like that next to last one, it's always like that. And Bestman's with Tom, give it a 7 out of 10. Also, it was good, but nothing outstanding. And I had a handful of nitpicks. Yeah, and that's kind of like, so yeah. In this episode, I gotta say, I don't take this episode didn't like offend me to my core or anything like that, but I think it's right. Judging by Rob's laugh, it might have.
I feel like that's a shot at me.
No, it wasn't. I'd already actually
offend me to my core. Do I even have a core?
Well, it worked out a little bit.
Newton or figs? Because man, I'm a Figgy Newton guy. Like I do like.
Maybe if we did some sit-ups.
I do 2 minutes of sit-ups every other day. Don't even start.
Yeah.
Okay. I start 2 minutes. I'm 20 minutes. Sorry.
But Garth, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. And Garth, we're kind of hitting on the big, the space whale in the room here. Ward, this show has lost its posterior shots in the last couple episodes. What gives? And I don't know. I don't have an explanation. Dave Filoni's lost his way.
No, we got them. They were just whale shots. You're seeing whale ass in a few shots.
Big old fat whale ass just fucking fluttering through space.
Yeah. Every time you see him spread that ass open, ready to take off to hyperspace, that's an ass shot.
There was a cut scene from that part where Thrawn is lasering the whale, and the whale has some big ass titties, and it starts shooting milk everywhere. And they said, Dave Filoni, you can't do that. And then he said, I'm quitting. He walked that day. And then what they did was they just cut it out during the writer's strike, and he forgot. So he's fine.
And then he went over to Spumco and joined John Kay for 6 months. A bunch of inappropriate cartoons.
But don't worry, Garth. We got one more episode, and it's going to be the finale. So I got to imagine
it's going to solve all our problems.
Thrawn's going to be changing into
resolved.
Thrawn's going to be changing into a new white outfit. He's going to have like a little white G-string on before he puts his pants on. We're going to see that.
I want him to take the shirt off, but he's got the wife beater underneath. Right? He's got the belly and the white wife beater, but he still keeps the insignia on the wife beater, right? Like,
what if he opens up a drawer and there's like a fish shirt, like he's been following fish?
I think in Star Wars they're called droid beaters, though. We don't so because it's okay to this day to be condescending and vengeful to droids, but to women not so much.
Fair enough. Oh yeah, and then just to address the thing is, like, I think this episode confirmed some timeline stuff, just to get that out of the way before I forget. We were like, yeah, it takes place like around season 2 of Mando, and then it takes place like around the events of Mando 3. And this episode, in the first episode of the show, we have Ahsoka, and she's or we see Morgan Elsbeth on her way to prison or to be tried. So we know it's really close to that. And then in this last episode, we have what about the uprising on Mandalore with Moff Gideon? And so right there, we know that this does go in between the season 2 of Mandalorian to just beyond season 3.
Fans are really big on their timelines, so that's what they care the most about.
Well, it can be important to know why certain things.
It's pretty obvious when the freaking show takes place, but I don't understand why this is.
Is it though? Because I just told you it takes place between season 2 and then the end of season 3 of the other show. That's kind of confusing.
I figured they're all taking place in chronological order.
And then
Boba Fett took place after season 2, and then Mando, and then this takes place after season 3.
But this starts earlier and then ends after, so it's sort of like an in between. It's like the meat in the sandwich. But when the sandwich kind of has the meat hanging out the side, you know. But anyways, it also answers why wasn't Sabine Wren in the Mandalore fight, because that's like a big question that people had. You know what I mean? And yes, the timeline is a mess.
Really, really wondering about that.
Well, the whole Grogu thing is making less and less sense. I think Favreau was just exhausted and just fucking misspeaking, or that was an idea he had, and then they never solidified it, and then he just started talking. And I think it was definitely him misspeaking now, but we'll see. We'll see how
he keeps this up. One day he's going to write down somehow Palpatine returned, and he'll go full circle.
Somehow. Yeah. Well, that's like one more thing I wanted to say. The guy who we will get into the scenes, but just this one thing. The guy who plays Ezra, I think, is doing a really good job, because Ezra Bridger honestly annoyed the shit out of me usually, like the Pollyannish attitude and stuff like that. And the guy's delivery of the same type of lines was almost Oscar Isaac like good, but the script wasn't there to let him be Oscar Isaac good in it. You know what I mean? Like so I'm liking where Ezra's going so far, but we'll get into like the fucking reunion scenes and all that kind of shit. Tom, thank you for the front end super chat. Dude says more Hera cheeks or we riot. Yeah, that's. I mean, we'll get into Hera right now.
Relax.
I mean, she was going to court. You know, I mean, you should know when you go to court, you don't necessarily want it, or do you want to show the ass in court? You tell us, Tom. Do you want to show the ass in court? Do you want the jury, the military tribunal, to go, you know what? That ass don't quit, so I quit. And then they all
I like
clapping.
how there's spectator. We'll get into it. I like how there's an audience for the military court. Like, if you call it a military court, a bunch of senators. I don't know. It's fucking weird, dude.
Right.
Yeah. You don't see a bunch of senators showing up to a JAG hearing. You know, like it's fucking awesome. The one person who should be there is Senadroid. I don't know. It's so weird to me. Star Wars military, man. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, okay. So like up front. So like this one is going to be a general grievances episode, I think. See, I didn't
want to talk about what I like first before we get into this.
No. But don't forget what you liked. But let's
Okay.
No,
you want to go in chronological order then?
Yeah, I roughly outlined. I put the episode on and hit some things. If I start to skip anything that you wanted to hit on, we'll go back. If that's okay with you.
That's
so yeah. So anyways, we open with that tribunal, right? And so number one is Dave Filoni generally is fucking on when it comes to how do Star Wars things talk to one another? How should they? And then what's the internal story logic of how things should interface? That's why most fans are in his corner. And that's where him being one of us, or having come from being one of us, sets him apart from many other creators. But the C-3PO coming in being like, bitch, do you know who I am? You don't need to see my motherfucking identification. I'm C-3PO. Like that thing right there. So
but he didn't get the red arm yet. He didn't get the red arm yet, right? So we know the timeline. You know, it's really important.
So, but it's like Dave. So on one hand, in the internal logic of the story, yes, C-3PO would likely be famous. He's on Balin's wristwatch. You know, what I think is like people I'm gonna fucking get.
No. Balin has the shoelaces with the 3PO head clip. Remember those?
Yeah, right? yeah. But
yeah, because I'm not a real fan.
but the thing about it is the internal. I think also the internal logic of Star Wars itself was always like, initially especially, was that you can 3PO and R2 can observe all this shit. Nobody notices them because it's basically a fucking microwave and a blender. Nobody gives a fuck about what they're up to. No, in a war zone, nobody's paying attention to the fucking, you know what I mean, to the cement mixer parked on the side of the street, unless it has bombs in it. But you know what I'm saying? It's like completely. That's what allowed them to be the eyes of the original trilogy. So to go and then to like remove that, on one hand, it's like, well, on one hand, it's like they're now they do cease to be that later on. So it does kind of work, but
General Schwarzkopf couldn't be here today, so he sent his Roomba. You know what I mean? Yeah, we're all gonna listen to the Roomba now. Hold on, shh, let the Roomba speak.
Like, and that's the next part of it is so there was stuff like our Bespin and stuff like that knew of that scene in there, and he was like, dude, I think Leia's in it, but I don't know. And we were kind of like going like, and then I was like, looked around, I didn't get any hits on Leia's in it, for instance. And so as it goes on, we end up with this scene, and I'm like, wow, it's like in the age when I understand the complications to this. It's complicated, but
it's only complicated because Lucasfilm can't make a decision. On one hand, they refuse to recast any actor as someone else unless it's Ewan McGregor, which George Lucas already did. And everyone's cool with Ewan McGregor playing Alan McGinnis. They don't want to recast any other. You can recast Lando. That's fine. You can recast Han Solo. That's fine. But you can't recast anybody in their current age. But you can de-age one of them with AI, but not the other ones. It's so friggin' weird, dude. Like, just pick something because the story makes no sense. Right? What they're going with makes no logical sense. Either that or send in General Nadine. You know what I mean? Or send in Admiral whatever.
You are out of control today.
Look at that fuck. He's got Lego hair. What do you want me to do? So like
Max is
here. Akbar and he never ages. I don't know. You know, send Nia Nub. Nia Nub goes, you know what I mean? I'll watch it. Like it's just so odd, dude. Like pick a fucking boat. She's gone. Carrie Fisher would think it's weird. I'm certain of it. You know, like
she already had resigned herself to having sold her likeness away. The Rogue One stuff was already into effect when she was alive, and so on. You need a minute, Max?
No.
Okay. And so yeah, but at the same time, you know what, Carrie, if she cares, maybe she should have not done a bunch of drugs. Kurt Cobain cares about his legacy. Maybe he shouldn't have shot himself. That's where I go. People are gone. Right. I just go whatever on that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you sold yourself out when you were alive.
But they open up the door I'm not
gonna
Darth Maul waiting for the Jedi, and it's 3PO, and you're like, oh great,
yeah,
you know, we're doing this, you know.
But, no, but that's the whole thing is like they know by saying Leia, everyone goes, oh my god, Princess Leia, Max. I texted Max when it happened. I said
their way out of it was the one-off that Carson did 2 episodes or 3 episodes ago.
Yeah,
that was their way out of it, getting out of having a show her. Then you just have like an actual conversation. Man, the Leia thing is like, it's annoying because of Lucasfilm, but I mean, they're already willing to put a weird computer-made Leia in Rise of Skywalker. You know what I mean? Like, they were cool with that weird monstrosity, but I don't know why they don't just. And they did a weird CGI Leia in Rogue One when Carrie Fisher was alive.
They ain't got the money for that part of the show.
You know,
that's why though, because they didn't have the cash for it right then.
I think if they're not going to de-age Carrie Fisher, why don't they accelerate age the 9-year-old actress who plays Leia? I'm sure she'll grow up to look just like Carrie Fisher, right? Like
well, what I mean, no, well, that was. The whole thing with that is what Bespin says. Leia should have been there, but they didn't have the balls to CGI a Leia or deepfake it. They put themselves in that corner. But what kind of annoys me about it is that they could have done a rudimentary deepfake job and then put it into the blue hologram coming out of R2-D2's asshole, and then it would have been completely fine and passable for like what it was, and it could have worked. But they didn't obviously want to go down that rabbit hole. Also, I do think that if they will do that. And when they do that, they want it to be a big splash, and they don't want to shoot their load here for this week tribunal scene in the penultimate episode of Ahsoka. Well, you know, what do you get?
I thought that she was gonna. I thought they were gonna do like a hologram, holographic.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, gem and the holograms.
Yeah.
But Filoni's holograms in this series have been of good quality, so it's at that point it's no different.
Well, those ones are different ones though. That one's like a different tech. If we're using the old school Republic tech, you know, when Darth Vader shows up and he's like this big,
it's just they say she's head of Department of Defense. It is like, you think one chick in charge of the defense would be at the military tribunal, not senator from Alabama. You know what I mean? Like, this is so ridiculous.
Rob,
Cruz is there.
For as many of them,
Cruz is there.
member berry shit that they do, which I am usually fucking on board for. If R2 came out with 3PO and it was the little fucking size that she was in Luke's room, people would have been like, yes, I know that. I like it. Like, it was right there.
And I would still say, this is solve it with casting. Like, this is just dumb.
Yeah,
you know,
solve it with casting, but don't you know. It was like I was watching the show called Dave.
The chick playing Mon Mothma
and on
wasn't the Mon Mothma
called Dave. They have this moment where Brad Pitt shows up, and then they just have Brad Pitt in one scene. Brad Pitt's actually in the whole episode of the show, but they make it seem like it's that. Like, oh, we don't have the money for Brad Pitt, and then he's there, and then you're like, oh, okay, it's it's good, but it's like they by doing that, that's what was just reminding me the entire time. I wasn't watching a Star Wars film. I was watching a Star Wars TV show with budgetary
but
constraints.
The chick playing Mon Mothma in the scene wasn't Mon Mothma in Return of the Jedi, right? That chick died. So it's like, you can recast it. Like, this is ridiculous. You have another actress in the same scene. Who was recasted? Sorry. Yeah, we don't have to be here, Max. Look, I just... Serious, you know, I love you, but this is not the time. Like, this is the lunacy of this company. You know, there's just no consistency to this.
Yeah. I don't read Darth Knight's 99 super chat. I don't want to be pervy, but Sabina's my number one streak in this show. It's probably because
No,
she's more of
don't
the
do
full
that.
package.
Don't-
This is pretty face, but Hera's
Don't
close.
do that.
You know,
Don't do
she
that.
got, you know, pretty face.
So
You
the
know, she lives in
OT
Canada.
actress is
She's
still
my
alive. She's just a poor actress. So
she's my girlfriend. She lives in Canada.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if she's the alive or not alive or old. It's just you can recast. They did it. Done. Move on. Get over it. Like if they were recasting Carrie Fisher, even if she were alive, and they didn't want to do it, and she didn't want to do it, and she, then you just recast. And you go, it's time for a new. This is so ridiculous.
They could easily deep fake it, and that's it. I mean, and
they
especially
don't need, no. I've never seen a deep fake where the minute they start speaking or emoting in anything other than Mark Hamill's stoic face, that it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's never worked. The minute they got to smile or cough or do anything human, it falls apart.
Yeah,
that's
now.
Where they film,
all
like,
of it.
Lips and
for now.
Their chance to prove me wrong was Indiana Jones. Max, did you watch it?
Hell no.
See, Max, she didn't see it.
No.
Jason,
I watched. Yeah, but I've also watched the Indiana Jones one several.
You need to go to the theater.
No. But I watched it several times, and on the Indiana Jones one, literally, if you remove a couple of really weak spots in it, then it sells it so much more. And there's just these little but it's when you fuck up, you trip. You know what I mean? Like with that stuff, when it stops working, it ruins the whole thing. It spoils the whole meal.
Hey, look, let's get rid of Donald Glover and just do a weird CGI Billy D. Williams for an entire movie. That'll go really well.
No, and that pulls in right here to what Beth's been saying. Kathleen Kennedy mentioned not recasting previously, but they'll use different methods, CG. But it's happy to do it with characters they didn't have as much of a legacy. And that's exactly like.
But they didn't CGI Carrie Fisher. Look, there's pictures and photos of Carrie Fisher when she was a little kid. So why didn't they do young Leia?
Yeah,
young Princess Leia,
because
of a CGI little baby Fisher running around.
because what Kathleen Kennedy is saying right there in that whole thing, it utterly has nothing to fucking do with anything in reality. Because any filmmaker who comes on and says, I want 5-year-old Carrie Fisher in it, and that's what we're doing, is what they're going to do. And then anybody who's like, I don't give a fuck, or they won't give the money to, that's what they're going to do. It's just that everything when she talks about that, it means absolutely nothing. You know what I mean?
I'm asking these questions as if you can give answers. No one can give these answers. I'm ranting at the people, the stenographers at Lucasfilm who have to write this down and read it back to somebody.
But let's be real about this instead of like being hyperbolic. They opened up a Pandora's box, and they're not closing it.
Yeah.
But so when they do one thing, it's why the fuck didn't you do that? Why didn't you just deep fake young Billy D? And then when you get Donald Glover, it's like, if they didn't get Donald Glover, why didn't you just get Donald fucking Glover?
He didn't have much of a legacy. He ain't worth shit. That's why, Jason. I'm gonna be hyperbolic.
But that's the problem with the thing. But my thing with it,
Alec Guinness wasn't a legacy character. Obi-Wan wasn't much of a legacy. We just recast.
But we need to look at what are we actually looking at? We're not looking at A New Hope and Phantom Menace. We're looking at Mando.
Look at the Kenobi series.
We're looking at
Alec Guinness.
No, I don't even that one. Fuck that one. Push that one in the trash.
Forget about everything.
No. I'm saying Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian, Ahsoka. These 3 shows are all in the same place, the same people, the same location, the same era. Everything's the fucking same. That's where the consistency must lie. I don't care what happened in Phantom Menace. I don't care what happened.
So
in
you got a
Jedi.
CGI Luke Skywalker. You can have a CGI deep fake Princess Leia.
It's like if we're looking at it like comics, we can't start fucking holding Silver Age shit up against some Dark Horse shit, right? I mean, you know what I mean? When Batman meant,
but they've already said in this timeline, a deep fake Luke Skywalker runs around, so a deep fake Princess Leia can run around too.
Exactly, and that's exactly where I'm at in this series, in this particular era of this shows that are all connected with the same characters. You have now opened that up, and then instead, but what did they accidentally do here? Now here's what they accidentally did. They made it where Leia does save Hera, but Hera is so insignificant. Leia can't get out of the fucking line at the buffet to show up to the tribunal on the planet she's probably on to fucking report.
significant problem with not just this scene, but in the last 2 episodes, or the 2 episodes ago when all this shit went down.
Yeah.
Look, man, Hera was a general who took 5 pilots with her on a rogue mission, okay? And 2 of them pilots were killed. And Hera's never mentioned it. When they died in the battle, she didn't mention it. They didn't go get their remains up and bring them back so we can take them to their families. Never mentioned it. She goes to this military tribunal. Carson never mentioned. No one on the tribunal mentioned it. They say, hey, there's no Imperial remnants. You're making it all up. Well, 2 motherfuckers died, and you lost 2 X-Wings. Now, if one F-35 just disappeared last week, and everyone was talking about 2 X-Wings. That's money on the books, dude. You know what I mean? Are just blowed up, and they're not bringing up, well, who blew them up? How did you get them killed?
Yeah,
you know, you took them on a road. You are responsible for yeah, but that's the whole point of these. But that's if you're gonna have a military tribunal questioning leadership, that is the big fucking gaping hole in the whole thing. So no, it actually makes the most sense. But it's like, no, we're just gonna ignore that. Because hey, Star Wars, well, you still about it. Just tell me again when the guy with the saber tries to turn the other person with the saber against their friends with the sabers.
I could be wrong. I don't think those pilots died, because I think we thought it was Brendan Wayne who died in that scene, and Brendan Wayne was the one who pulled her out of the water. So I don't. That
was the other guy.
So I don't think the pilots died.
It was on fire.
I could be wrong, but
I just rewatched it. He clearly died.
Well, was it Brendan Wayne who died in that scene? Somebody in the chat know, because I haven't thought about this. It wasn't, keeping red shirt body count stuff in my head too much.
Okay, let's say they get into the fact that maybe somehow, look, they didn't show it was ridiculous. You definitely lost 2 jets. What happened?
Oh, it was a Rhodian. Nobody cares about them. They're dumb.
Yeah, no one cares about the
Greedos. Nobody cares about Greedo. No, I'm kidding. But I do think that it should have been in that script if that was the case. Oh no, it was that bad. It was the black guy and the Rhodian.
Yeah,
that's who they're like, and then Leia's like, oh, the green bitch. I ain't gonna show up. I'll just send the fucking robot.
Right in the
racist. Yeah.
Carson's like, my that guy owed me $20.
Hey, say what you want about Carson, but if you get a DUI, Carson will be there as your character witness to be like, you know what? I'm going to tell you guys, he is
toys on YouTube. It's one of the best channels. Like,
yeah,
it really is quite good.
Yeah, no, I was just a side note, just on the inside baseball level that does not contribute to the narrative whatsoever. When I did see Carson talking to C-3PO and like shushing Chopper, I was like, that motherfucker's living the dream. Look at him there, right there.
He's living Santa's dream.
Yeah,
what is it to me? I voted for Reagan. Why are I there? Like,
no, poor
what?
Poor Santa. Santa's just the Alex P. Keaton of Star Wars. All right, so so they. And then one thing that I did like in terms of the meta narrative of it is, so by the way, just a little side note, Rob, the character who's the dick in the tribunal is the father of the lead of Star Wars Resistance. I don't know if you know that.
He's a good dick. I think that guy's doing a great job, and I think Genevieve O'Reilly is fantastic. And you can really see the difference in what Genevieve brings to the table in this role compared to whatever Mary Elizabeth Winstead's bringing. When they're together, you're like, that's 2 different performances, like right against one another. One knows how to deal with this.
Does her butt count as the performance, or does the butt not count?
Well, when we're just seeing them talk, you can't bring the butt into it,
because I think that butt should win an Emmy. I think that's an Emmy award-winning butt.
It should win a Golden Globe. Get it, Jason?
If I was Ewan McGregor rich, I would give up half my shit for that butt. I understand why.
She's a great actress, but she, like this one, it's good enough for Star Wars. It's good enough for Rebels fans. I put it that way.
Yeah. No, I mean, let's be honest. I love this show. It's very cartoony, you know what I mean? So it's like when you're an actor, you're not like, I don't think anybody in Star Wars Ahsoka was like, this is why I went to Juilliard or some shit, you know what I mean? It's not, this ain't it, and that's fine, because most of the shit they don't care about, right?
Christopher, we went to Juilliard. What are you talking shit about Superman for?
Yeah, no, I'm saying that, and once again,
but you didn't think I knew that, but I do. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
We got so we had the little like tribunal thing there. Leia saves her. Then we end up cutting over to Ahsoka, who were like, "Where's Ahsoka been for a long time? We haven't seen her in a while." And then she's like on the ship, and she's doing training modules that Anakin sent her. They make sure to let us know that he did like 69 of them, so that way they could continue to use it throughout the show, and he could become a cast member full time. Right? That's what that was. That it's gonna be like Superman when he goes to the fucking crystal palace that he owns. This is like, and then he puts in the thing, and then like fucking Godfather shows up and he's like, "You're probably wondering, 2 chicks at the same time. Can I do it? Yes, you're Superman." He has those like important talks.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're gonna do in those
Superman
40
never had
videos.
2 chicks at the same time.
Superman?
No, only 1 chick. You never saw? Yeah, no.
Well, then I have a pitch for DC. Lana and Lois, it's a reunion, right? They get a little tipsy at the end, and then they start talking about the stuff they wanted to do in college. And Clark's like, "Well,
Annette O'Toole is way hotter than Margot, whatever her name is."
Okay, and then in the second episode, okay. Anyways, we could do, but we'll deep fake it for you. But way hotter. But we end up with getting to
Mark McKean, right?
Yeah, I don't know. So. But we get to see, I mean, we get to see like our Clone Wars Anakin in a way that's like not from the battle stuff. It's being more chill, making her little training videos for while he's doing his own stuff, which realistically we all know that's when he's banging Padme on the boo where there's no sand. That's
like,
what he was doing.
I trained you to. She's like, he's a good master. He just got to. Did he ever mention all them Tusken kids he slaughtered like 6 months before he made the video?
Not at all. Not even a little bit.
Me Tuskins. You know what I mean? Like
it would have been fun.
That comes out.
Yeah.
Me Tuskins over there is gonna find out this dude's been killing kids since he was 22.
Imagine if they had made Ahsoka a Tusken Raider. That's his battle.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And she's like a bantha. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So yeah. The I don't know if it was just me and my being a little bit tired. The space chase scene, I had a little hard time following the edit of it. I didn't think that was edited so hotly either.
I got something else to complain about here. Man, either you could say this is the way the Jedi are, and hey, you could say Ahsoka isn't a Jedi, so this doesn't matter. Maybe the droid technically counts as a Jedi because he trained somebody for 25,000 years. He's an honorary Jedi the same way Cosby's an honorary doctor, I guess, at this point.
Okay.
But them whales went out of their way. Them whales went out of their way to help these people. And when they arrive, they're getting blown up, and the droid's like, good thing the whales are covered. And I'm like, no, you gotta at least say we can't let these dudes die.
I'm glad that they didn't let them die.
They gotta like get move away or do something. They're like, no, let them whales get blown. And then when they take off, she's like, you had to fucking say something. So Ahsoka's totally wants the whales to get blown up. Like she's like, fuck them whales.
Gratitude.
This is bullshit.
Gratitude.
Hey, dude,
bullshit. Darth Vader. I can justify it because Darth Vader was her master. They didn't
sign up for a war. They signed up to give them a ride somewhere. It's like Max picks us up in an Uber and we take her to Ukraine. It's like it's not fair. Max gets blown up, right?
I'd leave y'all.
You would.
Yeah, you like, well, that's what the whales did, but then we'd be like, Max should be taking cover for us.
Fuck that.
Yeah,
she should get blown the fuck up.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
That I liked in the previous episode when Thrawn
rooting for the bad guys.
When Thrawn's like when the whales come out of hyperspace, if they should blow them up. Like I was like, oh, that's good. I thought there was going to be more emotional resonance in that moment than there was. And especially because I know Dave Filoni loves James Cameron like a lot, like Rob style.
Like James he wants Cameron. To marry him.
Whales fight back.
Wants to do it with him.
Yeah. No, I mean, like one time
whales
he talked
rip
about
people's arms off.
He talked about. I was prepared for Rob from one of my meetings with Filoni where I met him after the Savage press screening, and he just talked about Avatar for like 10 minutes, like straight. And then like right after that, then we got all the Onderon stuff with
Fuck them whales, Jason. Just fuck them.
Wait, are you Filoni? Are you saying that James Cameron is straight up a pussy? Is that your point? Have you grown beyond Cameron?
I'm a director now. I can talk all the shits. I'm directing 2 movies. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's got a point.
But they, the one thing I mean, I'm with you on that. I thought it was an opportunity for some emotional weight to.
I don't like Revenge of the Sith, but the part when Obi-Wan's little lizard pal bites it, Obi-Wan, it feels bad. You feel bad, and you sense Obi-Wan's like, no. Like I actually was like, this is the most human moment. It's the most human moment in this whole fucking movie. It's more human than him and Anakin. That bullshit. So I'm like, you gotta at least care. The Jedi gotta care about life, right? Like that's the Yoda thing. Otherwise, you're an asshole Jedi, and then I can't like you. You know, the good Jedi got to give a shit about.
I don't know. You like Balin,
the living force, huh? He seems to care more. You don't see him ditching his fucking horse. I mean, what's your face stole his horse and ran.
Garth Knight 499 Super Chat says Margot Kidder was super hot in the OG Superman movie. Pretty thin though, not thick enough for Filoni casting.
Yeah, but not by Superman 3. That's what I'm talking about.
As a kid, like Margot Kidder was at the same level as as Carrie Fisher in the pop culture zeitgeist, I would say, on those original like Superman movies. It wasn't, but Carrie Fisher was a really good crackhead, whereas Margot Kidder was not. So Carrie Fisher was a little more rock and roll, right? And so it was like, oh yeah, like it went cool. She ended up hiding in the bushes, and people were like, what the fuck's going on with Margot Kidder?
By the way, I think Margot Kidder's best role outside of that first Superman movie was her appearance on Saturday Night Live. And they do like a Superman Lois dinner where everyone comes over and the Flash and everyone shows up. And Dan Aykroyd plays.
Is that the one Flash. Where they know he's Superman, but she doesn't? Is that right?
Yeah. It's super good, dude. It's super good.
Super
Go
good.
look that one up. It goes on forever. The pacing is the 70s. You got to deal with it, but it's still worth it.
Yeah. Old SNL. You got to like just be watching it and accept it for its pacing. Sometimes though, like the first or second season of SNL, let's get to like 30 seconds. It's almost like reading Mad Magazine, and after that, they're like fucking 5 minutes long.
Did you watch the one with Carrie Fisher?
Of course. Yeah. Where she's on the beach, with a little bathing suit.
Yeah.
I didn't forget it. No. I'll never forget it.
I bought it.
Well, that bathing suit one I had as a poster when I was in the army in my room. It was in a Lego magazine.
From Star Wars?
Like,
I mean,
it was
SNL?
It was no, there was one where she was it was a bikini shot of her in the
Rolling Stones,
but it was a really inappropriate one. But it was in a Lego magazine. I was like, this is great. It was like it was great. It was like 18 by 24 fold out. And like, where'd you get that poster? I'm like, Lego magazine, you know? What? Am I the Germans are crazy?
Oh gosh.
Yeah, and then we have the Anakin training module. You know, it's what was again little fan servicey. I appreciated it. Like
it is fan servicey. It doesn't add anything new. And the problem I have, I accept liking and learning from an Anakin from beyond the grave, the one who's already learned his lesson. Right? I refuse to take any fucking advice from pre-Revenge of the Sith, you know, pre-Return of the Jedi Vader Anakin. Like I'm not hearing it. Maybe when he was a little kid, but by the time he hits Attack of the Clones and he kills all them Tusken kids, I'm not fucking taking any advice from this motherfucker. You know, like Ahsoka
isn't there. Fuck, my battery is not looking too good, you guys. We're gonna oh no, it says the battery's not charging. Fuck, I can't restart this computer because I don't have a monitor. Let me see.
It means I get to just complain for the next hour with no Jason.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
If I'll just if I can't get I think I might have power now. I see the thing. So we'll see what happens. But yeah. Anyways, Anakin training module, and then we got more of that space chase that I honestly it was like
pointless.
It was kind of like it was like a little bit like it's like hard to see.
Well, this is where it makes Thrawn look like an idiot because his whole plan at the end of the day, we find out, is to just delay them while they get the Caskets on board and then they can take off. but he could have just let her go down there and then tracked her and then blew them up and nuked them from orbit the way Hicks would. You know, like, I just don't understand all this. Bring the witches out and do the thing, and then we'll find them. And like, no, she's gonna go to her friend. He would over. This is the Filoni writing of Thrawn. It's the dumbest Thrawn ever. Like, the only person, you know, this is the dumbest Thrawn ever. Dude. Well, I'm like, this is the dumb plan. It's so stupid. The mind thing was smart, but then it's like, oh, he's a guy who's so worried about sending his dudes. Why send your guys against a Jedi? You know they're all going to get killed. Just wait till they're down there and go fly away.
Yeah.
Remine the planet so they can't get to you. You know,
KM22 is exactly right though about to go back to the Anakin module really quickly. I think the point of the lesson was to show Ahsoka had accepted him versus wrestling with what he became, and that is two. There's two important things. Is I think you're dead on that KM22. That was my interpretation as well. And also the other thing is that like Ahsoka leaves before Anakin fucks up with the Tuscans. But when Anakin fucks up with the Tuscans, if we're gonna not read it as a myth and we're gonna read it as real life, then yeah, he deserves to be in prison. Blah 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 blah. Okay, that's a
yes.
No, that's just a clerk's take. That's not how
Franken had to quit for pretending to grab some titties.
I know, and this is a fucking cartoon. With, you know what I mean? But what I'm saying
real
is
life.
Yeah, no, but it's in terms of like story logic and stuff like that. He wasn't completely like lost. He still could have done the right things. He hadn't made all of the wrong choices yet, not entirely. He had murdered people on that front. So for reading it in real life terms, yes, but in terms of the actual like narrative as it goes, he's a crooked warrior at the time and did bad things in war. But some people do bad things in war and come back home and then do fine things and become citizens or whatever. But
John Rambo.
Some people become John Rambo. But in this instance right here, when he is training Ahsoka, he is training her pretty well. He is mostly on the up and up during the Clone War stuff. But she leaves after Tarkin and they try to frame her and all that shit. She leaves, and then that's when he becomes.
Learning that Ahsoka's dilemma was that she is trying not to fight because she sees a circle of conflict coming no matter what happens, and she doesn't want to be a part of it. And I felt that's mirrors that. No, but that's her conflict too. I was saying her thing is mirroring Balin in a way that they have the same conflict, but they're going about. This is why I like Balin as an antagonist, because ideally you want your antagonist, your protagonist to have the same essential goal, but they go about it in two different ways. So his goal apparently is to somehow prevent it from ever happening, and hers is to come accept that they are going to come and go, but it's your time to be there. That's why the original version of that scene, as you described it, where she learns that had she died the Obi-Wan role, then she would not be here now to solve this problem, because Obi-Wan probably wouldn't have been here anyway. You know what I mean? Like that's, she needs to be here now. It's her time. The conflict's going to come. You can't run from this. You have to face it. But it's not clear. Like somehow in the writing to here, it's all muddied to fuck, dude.
I think I think it's clear. In the opening scenes, she's afraid of Sabine. She's controlled by fear. She's afraid of the future. She's afraid of moving forward with anything. She's afraid of anything changing, because as things escalate, she knows that it gets out of control. It's not. I think her and Balin,
that should have been 100% said and cleared up when her and Balin re-meet, is when these two mindsets, you then get an actual meeting of the minds where you see she's changed, but he's going to continue on with his plan.
When she meets Sabine in this episode, does she put her down? Does she chastise her?
Like, she didn't go, you stupid
fucking bitch.
You did this.
No, and I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with Sabine never once. Look, this is a problem with this whole story, is you got a character in Sabine who literally made a really bad decision, and she hasn't ever owned up to it to the one guy she did it for. She won't even tell this guy, hey man, we're never going home. He's like, how'd you get here? Oh, we'll talk about it later. When? We're on pill bugs. We're driving 2 miles an hour. We don't even have CDs. We need to talk about something. Tell me how you got here. Like, do you have a ship? Was it a DeLorean?
Rob. Okay, that's funny. But what did she do instead? What did she do instead? No. You're overlooking
that look, that wink. Like, that's something a hot girlfriend gives you, not your sister.
She went and she basically explained several years of a decade of
she
what
didn't
happened.
Say how she got there, and are we leaving?
I know she deflected by going but once again though, like if you've been, if you were marooned on an island and I pull you out on it, and you pre 9/11, and then I'm pulling you out after Trump, and I don't want to tell you something, it's going to be very easy to not tell you what I don't want to tell you and to tell you what's happening.
But he wants to go home. So you would be like, when can I go home? I go, well, just not ruin it. Like, what do you mean not ruin it? Like, you're not going to go, well, Rob, we're in a cartoon, so let's not have that conversation.
No, I'm not. I think Ezra's assumption is that the Republic is going to come and save them, that they are going to be saved. I think that's what, and I think that's what because he doesn't, but he also, like, when he finds out at the end of the episode that she thought Ahsoka was dead, that's his first inkling that
something's going on.
I've been lied to, or I don't know how serious that'll be, or how, you know what I mean? Like what the emotional ramifications of that will be. It might be heavy, it might not be, but Garth Knight gets $49 super chat and says, I'm down with Rob's take. I kind of soured on Anakin with the Tusken Raider scene in Attack of the Clones. Yeah, soured on.
Yeah.
I mean,
but then he was like a Steelers fan. Go Steelers! So we're cool now.
They're animals though, and he just slaughtered them like animals.
They're animals.
Yeah,
they're animals. It's almost the Christian Bale voice when he does it too. When you think about it, right? They're monkey pads. Right.
Yeah, Meek says the New Republic ain't gonna do jack for them. Yeah, and that's
the New Republic sucks.
It does. It's trash, and they don't. And he doesn't know that. And to some extent, our heroes are kind of having to accept that and swallow that bitter pill in this narrative. Like, that's kind of Carson Teva. Like, I'm pretty sure we're gonna end up with these core characters and Carson and stuff like that leaving and becoming basically what Leia
the becomes. Resistance.
Yeah.
Rangers of the Republic fighting overtime all the time, fighting crime.
They can't do it. They took our Princess Gina Carano. Fire wokeness.
No, they're just gonna get Michelle Rodriguez to replace Gina Carano. I'm telling you, no one's gonna notice. No one's gonna notice.
They look the same. Just kidding.
Go watch Dungeons and Dragons. I'm telling you, it's the same. She's way better too. She's way better.
But
and this is Michelle Rodriguez I'm talking about.
My critique of that episode is actually that they went with a lot of cutes like, can you believe she just said that kind of bullshit in the thing. I would actually it would have been interesting to hear her talk about how what happened. To actually have her explain that to him. How do they interpret it?
Or when the bad guys show up, he could be like, "Where's your ship? We could fly out of here." And she'd be like, "This is not a good time for this. When is there ever going to be a good time?"
No, but I mean, maybe you don't want to explain the whole situation. Like, Ahsoka didn't want to go, or you know what I mean? Like,
this is 2 hours of Star Wars. This is from the time she met Ezra to now. We're almost 2 hours of Star Wars time. It's a whole movie to not explain. How did I get here? When are we leaving?
Well, Ahsoka didn't want me to go, but I wanted to because I love you.
Well, she's dead. And then when you find out
she died, and
fuck all that noise. The cringe part was not wanting your characters that you love so much, Dave Filoni, to not know everything and be super fucking cool. And in the like, they say Palpatine died. Why would she say that? Is she a fucking conspiracy theorist?
Yes.
That, you know what
She's
I mean?
She's also an anti-vaxxer. I can tell.
Yeah.
Fuck her.
No, but that was the point where I was just like, no, everyone should believe Palpatine is firmly dead. It should not be, you know what I mean? Like when that happens,
do they know Leia's Vader's daughter too? Like,
but what is it actually? No, fuck all that. What it actually is saying is that Sabine thinks that Luke Skywalker is a fucking liar or a fraud.
Yeah.
It means she doesn't believe what he says. Yeah. And then we believe, at least I do, that this is all gearing up to them becoming this new Jedi Order. This is all working to that.
Sabine fucks it up.
So
with her conspiracy theories.
if they're going to have Sabine not necessarily straight up respect Luke, and Luke have to earn Sabine's respect as it goes on, then fine. If they take it that way, if that's because not everybody could be like, yeah, Luke, you're our daddy, we love you, we're gonna do whatever you say. That's fine. But do they mean to do that? Personally, I don't think that's what they mean to do.
JJ said at Comic-Con last year that Sabine was a Jakku sixther. Because on the 6th, that's when Jakku happened. Yeah, Jakku. She was there. Yeah. I know it's a bad pun, but I'm taking it. I'm not going to make a Jakku 6th.
Oh,
quite a while.
I just got that.
Yeah, there you go, man.
I just sorry, a little late.
We got Max as the sloth from the DMV, right? She's like,
Star Wars says, okay, but in fairness, even the EU had tons of stories where characters didn't believe Palpatine was really dead. Only Luke was witness to Vader killing Palpatine. Yeah. And the
EU had a smart Thrawn too, Meg, but we're not in that realm,
I'm like, just for my taste, I'm okay with even Carson Teva being like, I don't know, that's what they say, but you know what I mean, like having that, but, kind of like I don't.
The Jedi chick whose master's master was Luke Skywalker's dad. It's just dumb.
It actually opens up complications. Like I said, if because Filoni's the guy that's always about, here's the internal logic. Well, of course everybody would know who C-3PO is now. Okay, but now you've done this. So do you mean to do that? Shogun Order, thank you for the $5 super chat. Says, just me, or when Thrawn told Morgan his plan about holding up Ahsoka with the troopers, Morgan was like, sure, maybe not be felt a bit convenient. Yeah, that's
this dumb plan. Like,
well, this is kind of the whole.
It did kind of seem like that, right? Where she was like,
yeah.
Well, no, it's what happens when you say my character is a tactical genius. And then you know what I mean, though? And then you're just like,
he's tactically geniusing himself out the fucking room.
And then now every single thing he does should be tactically
it's tactical super genius. Like Wild E. Coyote, super genius.
Meg says, does Sabine know Luke? I mean, if she's gonna go and she's gonna say that, what she's saying and all that kind of shit, I don't know if she knows Luke, but they're making it sound like everybody knows C-3PO.
Everyone knows.
So everybody must know Luke. If everybody knows C-3PO by the logic of the show, is my take. So, and then Conchu gave $5 super chat and says, this show makes me miss Andor. I'm glad for those that enjoy it. To me, the writing is a hot mess. Yeah, it is. It's definitely
falling apart at the end. I'm telling you right now. It's falling. It's crumbling.
I don't think so. I think what it is it was a weak way to write it. This is the Taika problem when they say Taika has a second in his third act. It is trying to push us into the third act, and there is a problem writing it. I bet you the next episode is going to be fucking rad. And by the way,
I'll tell you what won't be rad: Ezra's martial arts skills. Now, man, look, I admit this actor is really good and charming, right? Like I like him, right? Even though he's clearly Jesus, but I accept that because that's
Jesus.
Accurate. I accept historically accurate Jesus.
You accept Ezra Bridger into your heart, Rob, on this show right now?
Yes.
He is the heartthrob.
And his stupid.
I'll have any water, but I'll spit on you.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. Yeah. I'll wash his feet. So like, but the martial. Like, come on, man, dude. Like, I wrote a fan film in 1998-99, right, dealing with Taras Kasi, and I was like. Yeah, so like I give a shit, and I'm like, that's it. Force pushes, and
he was
and shoot somebody. It's not good. You got to cast a stunt person if you can't do the martial arts.
He's very force pushy.
Well,
no, it's bad. It's super bad.
That was what I one of my scoops about Ezra was that he does force karate, and there was the force karate.
It's literally Cobra Kai does a better job of the karate than this. It's not, and I'm not even being sarcastic. It really does. Them kids actually do moves and shit. This is ridiculous. So I get the Sabine casting. Her fighting's great. She can do all that shit. So, okay, maybe she's weak in the acting, but she's not prequel weak. She's just on the cusp a bit. Fine. But this is bad choreo. This is the worst fighting this whole series. And the one thing I've been able to say is consistent is the fights have been cool. They may have not meant anything sometimes. It's just fights for the sake of fighting. But the actual choreography of the lightsaber fights has all been great. Right, Sabine with the Mando stuff is way better than what we saw in Mando season 3 when the Mandos were fighting. Like she's actually doing logical moves. She's blocking shit by her head. She's using
like,
the grab.
Is it me or is it she always kind of gets dinked by the head? Like, or is she like...
Yeah, she never wears a stupid helmet, right? Which she should be wearing.
Yeah.
But no. Her makeup never runs and her helmet's never on. You figure that one out. It's
she sprays like setting.
Gesso.
So yeah.
Like she puts clear gesso on her face.
Well, and it's from space, so it's way better. Way better than that shit we got here on Earth.
I'm not even talking about Andor. I'm talking about this series and its own internal logic. I don't have to go to Andor.
But I'm with Meg says Andor and Ahsoka are fun in their own ways, in my own opinion. And it's like, yeah, it's the difference between, a fucking McDonald's meal that's fucking good and bad for you and trash, and I love it, and going to like a steakhouse. It's fine. You could
like
serve
Sizzlers.
Delicious Sizzler. Thank you, Max. Sizzler.
Yeah,
Sizzler.
Cheesy bread. Cheesy bread.
Andor Shrimp Fest at Red Lobster. Okay, and Ahsoka it's McDonald's. And that's fine.
Question. Do you think that the stormtroopers look kind of like Visions, the Ronin, in the episode Ronin, Star Wars Visions?
Oh, Visions, yeah.
Yeah, you remember how the troopers were looking kind of tied up and put I don't know. To me, I thought that the stormtroopers Thrawn's troopers, whatever they're called.
Yeah,
there were no stormtroopers in the Ronin episode.
They're called night troopers.
No, but Ronin had his no, not Ronin. The Sith witch,
Mia Farrow.
Yeah,
Ronin Farrow.
You know who I'm talking about, right?
Mia Farrow. Like, what are you doing? Santa's like, ho.
That would be the Meg says Shin wants something more than have her hands through that purple hair. That'd be the best scene in all of Star Wars.
Do you think that they're gonna like get together?
No.
Scissors. You don't think so?
I mean, I would want them to.
They look like they're...
Maybe Superman can do it.
Maybe Shin likes Sabine. Sabine doesn't go that way.
You have no power except over my body.
She likes her brother.
I mean, if I'm just gonna throw out,
brother.
If you don't want to fuck Space Jesus, then you definitely want to fuck Shin. Shogun Orta says $5 super chat. Thank you again, Shogun, for the support. All right, I did my rag on the show last super chat, but I will say it's all right to watch. Stumbles, don't look too close, but I do feel the adventure.
But don't pay attention to the dumbass Thrawn.
But
just a cartoon doesn't matter.
Well, it's also, I mean, there are slightly accessibility issues. Slightly, I don't go completely full out on things should be done for kids, but Andor was too grown up for my kids, and then the Ahsoka series they are loving. They're enjoying it. They sit down, they watch
put them in charge, man. That's great. Just put them in charge.
It's what happens when your audience is bigger than your a demographic. Yeah. That's the problem with that Star Wars has or will always has. It's why we have these like alt-right winger guys that are out there fucking coming up with fake numbers for why the
kids also watch Johnny Somali. You don't see me going, well, that's kids got it right,
because what fans do is they interpret everything on their own terms. It doesn't matter what the corporation wants it to be. They encode the message, then we decode it. And the way that it gets decoded is all over the place, and sometimes and then it can be frustrating if you're more, I guess, narrative literate. Then this shit can be frustrating, but then at the same time, if you're not, then you're like, hey, this is fucking fun.
And then they'll go and complain about Marvel having the exact same problems. These fans, right?
Who?
And they'll come over here, but it's cool. It's okay when Star Wars does it, but when Marvel does it, because this is the best ever.
That
gets away with it.
Yeah, but like I said, we risk running into like a straw man kind of thing whenever we give voice to the stupidest people with the dumbest takes. Like that's the problem.
That's me.
No, you know what I mean? No, but I mean, no. I mean, like when we collective take a character of fandom in total, just depending on which way we want to look, I can make it seem like it's a bunch of rabid fucking Raylos with their fucking heads on backwards. They can look over here and make it look like it's a bunch of fucking 50-year-old dudes ready to storm the Capitol. You know what I mean? It's like they're all stupid. They're all fucking idiots. I hate everybody but you guys in the chat. Everyone else who's on the chat, fuck them. Where were they today? Fuck them.
I know, right?
I'm just hoping with the new WAG strike deals that they force more writers into these rooms. That's all I hope. You know, I think they got to have 3 minimum on a show this size, maybe 5, like the way it works. So the Filoni writing or Favreau writing the whole season thing is going to be done for us here soon. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if that methodologically fixes the issues as much as it just means that you have a bunch of Richard Marquands behind typewriters. You know what I mean? At the same time, metaphorically speaking. Is that metaphor? Whatever.
I gotta hope for something, Jason. You're taking away all hope from me.
Sorry, I'm
not. They're not gonna get it. They're not gonna magically go. You keep saying this is what Filoni does, so I have to hope maybe Filoni and some other people will somehow. It's my only hope, because this is just like Hera takes her kid to work day, and you know what I mean, like, and soldiers die, no one gives a shit. Leia can send a droid in her steed, and Thrawn's a fucking moron. You know what I mean? And Sabine's just trying to pretend why her. Look, it's so weird. I'm gonna get stuck on a planet with my brother. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna tell him I'm stuck here with you forever. And I'm not attracted to him. I guess I'm gonna fuck a pill bug one day, because that's the only thing lying around here. I don't know, man. Like, this is just a weird.
I mean, they're not really brother and sister.
It only works because Filoni knows they're not going to be stuck there, right?
Wow.
The writer knows that the characters won't be stuck there, so it doesn't matter. That's my problem with it. These characters don't know that, but the writer who wrote this knows that, and we know that as the audience. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So, and if you could tell me that I'm somehow like expecting some genius level writing from this, no, this is really pretty basic storytelling.
No,
you know,
it's all of a sudden be enemy mine, and then they just fly out at the end for no reason. You know what I mean? Like,
look, man, if Ezra gave birth in 2 episodes to Dennis Quaid's kid, I'd watch that. Right? Like, you're selling me, Jason.
Random Empire.
Hey, Jason. KM22 is referencing what I was trying to.
Oh, what? Where? Okay, I don't see it. So, want to read it?
It says from Max envisions the duel as Sith Ronin faces off against bandits that are Imperials with armor wrapped in strips of cloth. That's what I was talking about.
Okay.
It's very
but those are just supposed to look like bandits in the way that the bandits on this planet sort of have same kind of cloth bandages.
Yeah, so, that's just what I'm talking about.
But yeah, no, look, man, I'll say it again, man. The Ronin is a great book, and that short is fantastic too. In terms of CGI animation for Star Wars, it's really quite brilliant, and I stand by Visions and the Ronin 100%.
Phantom Empire says it's time for Lucasfilm to recast Leia and Luke. Placing the performers above their characters limits your storytelling ability. Mark Hamill wants someone else as Luke. Carrie would have too. Yeah, I think
when Anthony Daniels dies, do we have to CGI? We have to AI voice him. No one can come there and do the voice.
Yeah, no, right? There's almost.
But which Anthony Daniels do we AI? Do we AI this bland, boring ass one, or do we get the sassy one from Empire back?
All of it.
2 different Anthony Daniels. Sassy. Or do we get the Anthony Daniels? Yeah, he was sassy in that movie.
He was.
What they would probably do. Rob, is they would probably make AI model A New Hope, AI model Empire, Jedi, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, AI model Clone Wars, and then they would probably go and then they would probably pick, run them through, and then pick the one that was fits the moment the best, or to the director's preference. I would imagine that would be the method for that. But yeah, I'm with Phantom Empire in the sense that it is, but we also run into the fucking problem of that they've opened the Pandora's box for this immediate era in time. And then so it's like, if we have Luke as Mark Hamill, and then you're like a little kid, and all of a sudden now it's fucking some guy named Jerry, you're like, what the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? Like that's why I'm like, if they don't do it for a long time, if they don't reference the characters, and then they like a couple years go by and then we have like a new Luke show up, I'm cool with that. I think if they do a film, they should probably bring in a Luke, unless they are committed to this AI thing and improving it. And when I say AI, I mean deep fake stuff.
Imagine if Lucas was committed to that weird looking puppet from Yoda puppet from episode 1. Like he's going with it. You know what I mean? The one whose mouth doesn't move properly and his eyes are fucking weird. Like he's
Like
just
this?
sticking with the puppet. Can't change. Yeah. This is a weird one. He almost looks like the cross-eyed gremlin from Gremlins 2.
I'm on that issue though, because we keep going back to it. I'll just say one last thing about it is that I just don't think that your story should not be hinged or contingent upon Luke or Leia showing up and doing anything. I think those character stories have effectively mostly been told. And if they have a really great idea where it's like, oh my God, and that just opens up something and opens up a whole new saga for Luke that fits and everything. I'm fine, cool. But just in this really shallow way of doing it, where we just go, oh my God, he said the thing. I'm the meme. I'm Leonardo DiCaprio meme because I know who that is. Like I just
or what about the courtship of Leia? I think that should be.
They just did the new version of that this year where Han and Leia get married on the Star Cruiser.
Really?
I just need to see Dathomir's sisters and carry Yules. Yeah.
People don't know this, but me and Tom got married on the Star Cruiser, and his wife doesn't
I know
know yet.
Y'all are gay.
I've been on Reddit telling everyone. What are you talking about?
Yeah, so yeah, we have and then we have so little kind of interesting was the Force connection with Sabine and Ahsoka, which is something that we've seen in Star Wars before, but it's more just like that they sort of did more on the inside version of that. Like when we see it happening in Empire with like Leia and stuff, it's sort of like they're being looked at maybe by 3PO.
Where she's like this. She's looking off camera.
Oh, that smell.
Yeah, but in this one, they look straight at the camera.
Like this?
They get right up in it. Yeah, they get right up in it spherically. You know, like their faces are bending.
But that and there was a moment in that though that was also sort of subtle, but well, what happens is in it, Hyung, the robot man, lightsaber boy, he says like, "Oh, is your bond that strong?" And Ahsoka and her attachments issues and stuff like that has been denying that the entire time. So when that moment happens, that is the character accepting the bond that she has with her apprentice. And then when she does meet her, things are different. So it's, once again, if you're watching it all, like if you watched all of them in a row, it fucking flows. When you go week to week, I think it gets lost a little bit though.
She's like, hey man, I know you betrayed all of us and you're probably going to start World War III, but my master killed some kids once and I'm cool with that too. So
I don't think she was betraying them.
Get in the car. The car's got plenty of room here in our Ford Bronco too.
She has no idea that the master killed those. The other kids he killed. Oh yeah, she knows about the other kids. She knows that he killed the other kids.
She knows about the other kids. Come on.
You gotta be specific, Rob. Which kids did he kill that you're talking about? This time?
All the kids in the temple were sharing that on Jedi TikTok. You know they.
Oh yeah, those kids were. I mean, Ahsoka knows those kids fucking suck. They when she was going down, she was going to prison. None of those kids stuck up. They all saw her. They knew who she was.
And she's like, "Fuck you! I know you're gonna die."
It turns out Ahsoka and
you
Reva loved to share videos of Anakin killing kids. That was their favorite. It was like their version of E-Bombs World, right?
It would have been cool if Hyung played that clip after. He's like, "Oh, oops," because he just likes to be a dick.
He's like, in actuality, in 25,000 years of raising Jedi, this was like the least of the things I've seen. The old, you know what the Jedi temple's built on top of? The bodies. The bodies of the children.
I think, so we end up with the weird scene after, and I have a couple of things to say on it. Is that Balin basically dismisses Shin. And I don't know if Shin knows what his real plans are. She's just like, this motherfucker's crazy. But he's like, go take your place in the new empire. I'll see you later. I'm going to do my own shit now.
This is where I felt the conversation they had last episode where he's like, I raised you to be more or something. She should have had a disagreement with him about myths versus realities or something. I don't know, like where he could see like she ain't going to fit in his new plan or something.
Yeah, I'm getting the impression that she's been raised not to question anything that he says, and he's turned her into a little monster, though. That's kind of where.
Yeah, but then if he's not going to be there, then she's running around with her head. She's not able to follow her own intuition. Yeah. So she's not raised as more. Again, this is where Filoni's writing kind of falling apart towards the end. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, just because we don't, that on
next week we'll be able to find out if I was right, but then you'll forget everything I said. So
on this beat we will be able to judge it when we get further out for sure, because what I think it's doing most likely is it's putting Shin into a high position. He knows that Thrawn's going to leave them there. He's making sure she's not left there, because when she takes that position, now if he should need it, two things: he has a ride home. She could go back there and get him. She has somebody that's going back to the core who knows he's there, who might care about him enough to come and get him. Also, at the same time, though, she might have the moment where Thrawn does this thing, and she might walk up and stab him to death, and then he might take over.
Jason, I feel like we're doing the prequel thing where we're writing more story than George Lucas did to make sense of all of it. I don't really think that's there.
Rob, he didn't just go like, "Oh, you're fired, and I'm just gonna fucking retire here." I mean, there is a plan.
He needed to not be with her when he faced Ahsoka, because Filoni wanted them to not be together when he faced Ahsoka. So he just said, "Just go," and then she just was like, "Well, really? Yeah, really."
So that's one interpretation. The other interpretation is that did he plan on pulling a Kenobi? Was he trying to let Shin and the gang get off the planet?
No, he's supposed to be there to somehow stop the cycle of something, not pull a Kenobi and die. So she, I don't know. None of that makes sense.
No.
He's there to find some ruin with some older power to stop or prevent this. He should be doing that.
Exactly, Rob. That's exactly what he's doing. He's not trying to fucking suck Thrawn's cock. That's not why he's here. Yeah, no, he doesn't want that. He's wants something more. He doesn't trust. No, he doesn't trust. He doesn't trust Thrawn.
Look, Thrawn's pretty thick right now, though, Jason. How much more can you get? Papa Noida, right? That's a big blue alien. Right, we're not quite there yet, but we're getting there.
Daddy, that is a blue daddy.
That's a blue daddy. Sugar daddy.
You think his dick's all purple? Anyways,
100%. I think it looks like Audrey too. But
okay. But anyways, he's not just been like, I'm just gonna hold her off, and no, he's literally like he's acting like he dismissed her. That's not go, fucking wait for me on the ship. That's not what that was. There's something more to that there, but I have to think that it remember how I had that like really vague thing from a source that not everybody goes home and it's important. Well, the way that it was being pushed in the context of the conversation, the assumption was it was Sabine or Ahsoka who stays behind. But what if it is him? What if it's Balin? What if Balin's the one who's left behind? And then what if Balin, fucking all of this shit's going on? What if Balin shows up with something bigger in the big picture, in the meta narrative of all of this? What if we just kind of forget about him by design, and then he does do his quest and he does fucking show up, and then whatever it is, it could be horrible for the bad guys. It could be good for the good guys. It could be either way. We don't know where this guy's at. We don't know where his brain is.
I know, and we're going in the last episode.
Did he ditch her? He ditched her, right?
Rob, stop acting like the season finale is the series finale of the show. It's not. We know that.
Oh no, that's my other complaint. Like, this is not really a series. This is like 1/3 or 1/2 of something. Yeah, that we'll get a resolution to 3 years from now.
Well, no, they're doing what you wanted.
If Filoni doesn't drop dead from them putting the whole universe on the shoulders.
That is fair. But they're doing.
They've already killed Rey. They put this whole show on his shoulders. What's gonna happen?
Into a film. That's what. So all of the stuff is setting up, because motherfucker might walk out with Snoke for all we know. I don't like everything to be about Snoke. I think that's
that'll make Balin look like an idiot, because we know where that goes. Snoke's a clone.
Or
he's a clone. He's a drone. He's a Palpatine drone at the end of the day. Or he's not even a clone.
Well, we have these characters called like there's like the Bendu, right? And the Bendu also, somebody pointed out to me on Twitter, is a rock living creature who almost appears like he could be from that planet when you look at him next to the hermit crab people. And
the Bendu were also really originally what the Jedi Knights were called in the first draft.
Yeah. That's all of that's irrelevant now because they are a thing now. They are these no, but they're not Jedi, they're not Sith, they're not really, they're sort of almost like outside of ethics. They're just like we're just with the Force, homie. But what I'm saying is, yes, Snoke is a clone, but what if Snoke is in that planet and he's one of these Bendu types and he is outside of all of that shit? And then what if they fucking harness that guy to resurrect Palpatine? What if that's what this is? Because why does Palpatine, who looks like Ian McDermott, just all of a sudden decide, I want to be a 7-foot maniac with fucking a hole in my face? Why does that?
If the whole point of doing this is to make sense of Rise of Skywalker, this is all a waste of everyone's time.
Everything that Filoni does and every single thing he does, if you feel that way, you really won't like anything he does because he just spent his whole career making sense of the prequels. And he's not going to go, you know what? Now the Rise of Skywalker, I don't like that movie, so I'm not. No, that's not what he's going to do. Everything that he does is about enhancing what is there and trying to add a richness to everything that exists. And for some people, he succeeds and makes like the Clone Wars better, or he makes the prequels better. He actually, I would say, the most amazing thing the man ever did in his life was that he did that for some people.
He just needs 7 seasons and 8 years to do it. So have patience, Rob. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, we ain't going anywhere.
Just have patience.
Well, I mean,
eventually it'll all be fixed. When I'm 60, when I'm 60, the film that came out in 2019 will make sense.
That isn't what
looking forward
saying.
to it. Great plan. Can't wait to get there.
No, that isn't what anybody's saying. That's what you're making for the comment.
That's what Robert Sinclair's saying.
No, but that's not
Ben
what
Maynard. Sorry.
That's not what it is. What Filoni's going to do is he's going to look at it and he's going to go like, well, what is the issue with this? Why is this way, and how can I make it cooler? How can I make it better? But let's be honest, Bob. Fucking any change to the Snoke narrative from the Rise of Skywalker is a chance for an opportunity for improvement. And once again, but I don't know what the guy's doing. I don't even want to go down the Snoke hole for 2 hours because I don't even fucking know. But what I'm saying is, where he is going, they are implying that there's something there. Now, this might be like Lost or Battlestar Galactica, where the fucking Cylons have a plan and there is no plan written. It could be a fucking
they're gonna play Jimi Hendrix songs right at the end last episode.
All along the watchtower for 2 hours.
But, yeah, can't wait.
But with that said, the way I think Filoni works and what I usually know of how Filoni seems to work, he does usually know what he's writing to, and so I'm gonna give him, that he probably has an idea there, and it might even be in the fucking next episode for all we know. Like he's not gonna say like, well, we got home and like that's it. I think I would hope that there would be some big ramifications of what's going on here, but all of this stuff is going to be moving into a film idea that they have greenlit. No, but that they have greenlit, and we would assume that a lot of the stuff is going to be setting up things for that movie. Now, if it doesn't happen that way, then obviously I reassess my reading of it. But right now, as it's going on, I can't sit there and go, "You're gonna tell me everything you're gonna do in the movie? Fuck you, Dave Filoni! I quit." Like, I can't do that. Like, I can't live my Star Wars life that way. I gotta go like, okay, what is this? What are you doing here? Like, and is there?
I don't question any of it. It's a cartoon. Doesn't matter.
That isn't. I'm not dismissive of cartoons, but what I am saying is that cartoon style does have it has a literal narrative language to it that is not applicable to fucking Andor. You know what I mean? It's not the same.
Well, I watched Full Metal Alchemist. That's a cartoon. It makes plenty of sense. So I don't know. Maybe it's the American cartoons that way. I just don't. You know what I mean?
No, I mean no. You know what genre I'm speaking of when I say that, Rob. You know what I'm saying
but does our audience know, Jason?
Yeah, the only cartoons these motherfuckers have ever watched are the Dave Filoni cartoons.
I know that's the problem.
Exactly what I'm
saying, speaking to a bunch of more. I can't.
No. It's
friggin' Filoni's.
No. What happened was we had We had George Lucas and Dave Filoni making fucking cartoons that were sometimes very weak. And then all of a sudden, you'd be like, oh shit, this is at the quality of film. Like George Lucas is writing fucking 1 hour Star Wars movies now, all of a sudden with the Clone Wars. And, you know, now Filoni is doing his live action at that level. And I'm up for it. Max, if you agree with me, just stay completely still and don't say anything.
I told you her camera would break. Did I tell you? I told you her equipment would break.
This show is held together by fucking right now by popsicle sticks and gum. Okay,
it's like the Millennium Falcon of Star Wars shows. I've said this before. I stand by it. You know, we're entering Razor Crest territory with the build quality of the show.
but also the other important thing to bring up though too is Shin is tempted by Ahsoka. She's like, I can help you. Come on, and she thinks about it, which I think is telling to the psychology of the character and where she's coming from. It does, Balin isn't necessarily Space Daddy. I don't think. You know what I mean? I don't mean that sexually. I mean like I don't think he's like, oh, this guy's a good guy. And then, but also he's sort of abandoning her, and all of these things are kind of going on. And then she's like, and she considers it, but then she goes,
episode of stuff between those two we're missing for that to happen. But here we are,
But what that seems to might be setting up is that we might have her sort of moving into being sort of like an Asajj Ventress character. Who Asajj Ventress is a character that was Count Dooku's sort of secret "let's kill Palpatine" apprentice. And then as time goes on, though, you didn't see the cartoon.
I saw the real cartoon, the good one.
You didn't. It was actually completely shit compared to what they did with the Asajj.
When Anakin tried to save the walruses, I saw that one.
She eventually she realizes that Count Dooku is simply using her, and she understands what her fate is going to be, and then she ends up actually defecting and going back to the Sith witches.
Did she join Aura Singh, and then they became the Star Sisters?
No, she becomes a Night Sister on Dathomir, and then helps in the whole like Darth Maul sort of stuff initially, gets them up to that point. But then General Grievous invades the planet. Palpatine gets revenge on Talzin, kills all of most of the Night Sisters on Dathomir, except for the one that we have here and the other one. And then they're all wiped out.
Whatever other ones that show up when Filoni needs one.
No, she ends up lost, and she just ends up becoming like sort of a bounty hunter. And as the story goes on, she ends up working with Boba Fett, and then Boba's kidnapping a princess to sell the princess, and she has to make up her mind of, am I this piece of shit like Boba Fett who will sell a kid, or am I not? And then she ends up like kind of becoming sort of finds her moral.
Stormtroopers die in this episode?
Yeah, there were some dead ones, and I had
why didn't they turn to gas like Marok did when they died?
Two things. Number one is, so Marok, apparently they're not gas, or if they did, we didn't see it happen. And then the other thing is are they zombies? And then my take on it right now is, if that does pan out, is that the threads are part of the resurrection process, and then they keep them on. I don't think the threads mean you die and you get back up necessarily. Anyways.
So why was Marok gas?
In my opinion, Dave Filoni maybe had an idea for how these stormtroopers would go. If it's not connected, Rob, if it's not, and then had the idea, then decided not to do that, and then just use the idea on Marok. I think that makes the most sensible, creative, like, why would that happen kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, and then like just push the idea over to that is my idea.
It makes no fucking sense, but here we are. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's it's just.
I'm sure Santa will devote 2 hours of call-ins on this one. We'll have no more answers, but a lot of intricate theories.
Yeah, and then but Balin clearly has a bigger plan. Balin's agenda and Thrawn's don't meet, and neither do the heroes. So we have 3 agendas in the show. I think Shin is being placed to probably be an assassin or to get him back, something like that. Shin is he didn't just send her away, you know, in that front without there being some angle to it. You don't just write and then he just goes away. And like the whole thing with Ahsoka meeting Balin, the idea I think that is being expressed there is Balin expects Ahsoka to behave a specific way based off of his past interpretation of her. He doesn't know about her baptism with Anakin and what happened in the World Between Worlds dream sequence. And so she's now different. He read that wrong and it didn't work. So it definitely goes into
this really quick before we go. The Gaming Kitchen asks, why is Rob so bitter? Because I found this entire episode to be 1 hour. The 1 hour version of in Book of Boba Fett of them explaining that Grogu was gone for 2 years or some shit. You know what I mean? Like that. It's insulting. I find this episode insulting.
But that's only if you read the
to its own logic, not to Andor or to some other fucking thing, to its own internal
by its own logic. We don't have any idea how long Grogu was done for. We only know if we listen to what Favreau said.
Right. We should only just pretend that Mando took public transportation for 2 years.
Right. And like I said, that I don't believe that happened. I don't think. I think Favreau was misspeaking. I don't think he took public transportation for a year. And I don't think that it took Ahsoka a year to arrest Morgan Elsbeth and get on a space well to fly to that place. I don't think any of that actually makes sense to his comment there. And so I think he misspoke. And he seems to be a pretty reasonable, down-to-earth person. So I would imagine when he does the next round of press, if it comes up, I think he'll say, I misspoke. I think he would just say,
I mean, he's no Bob Iger. He didn't go out there and say, fuck their houses. You know, like
oh, dude.
He's still a good dude. I'm not saying he's a bad person, you know, like his fucking boss.
A buddy on Meg's Discord brought to my attention this like Bob Iger quote that was like going around. And I find this so fucking hilarious. Okay. This is Bob Iger. Our primary mission needs to be to entertain and to have a positive impact on the world. Entertain, positive impact on the world. I'm very serious about that. It should not be agenda driven. He just absolutely said nothing and said whatever you want to hear.
Right.
I want positive impact on the world. Who tries to do that? The Ewoks. But it should not be agenda driven. Who fucking wants that? The people who don't want the Ewoks. Yeah. So he basically
was the Pinocchio movie agenda driven? Was it agenda driven? No, they didn't make a black Pinocchio. They cast as white bread actors you get. You know what I mean? As old Geppetto,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I was thinking of
the Guillermo del
Toro
the Geppetto movie.
Anti-fascist.
Right? No, there's no. Did it entertain anybody? Well, I mean, we got a chuckle out of it, Jason, right? So when you spend $250 million making a fucking Geppetto movie that fucking bombs, yeah, I'm gonna definitely be entertained by it, you know.
But I mean, yeah, it's just funny because I've now seen really far left people say, no, he says that having a positive impact is their mission. They're still on it, guys. They're still on it. And then you got the fucking like right guys going like, he says they're not going to do agenda driven bullshit. Maybe Cara Dune will come back. It's like no, he just didn't say anything at all. He didn't say
she's going to be in the movie Dune. Did you know it's about her?
Yeah.
And now Disney Plus is going up $13.99 or something like that.
Oh yeah, it's just bullshit. Right now, if you are in that ecosystem and there's shows on Hulu to watch, the best thing to do is to get Hulu, ESPN, and that for like $19.99 or some shit like that.
I'm literally canceling it the next time it comes around, and I'll pick it back up when a Star Wars series comes out for a month, and then get rid of it.
I mean, obviously, we're heading out of the end of the strike here, and so with that, things could start rapidly, looking better on certain fronts. But if the stuff is spread around how we think it's going to be spread around, the content, the Star Wars content specifically, and that's why you have Disney Plus. After this, I would probably unsubscribe until, May or something.
Until or we gotta like watch the shows and so I get it, but
I only watch Disney Plus for Star Wars. That's it.
Yeah, and that's my problem with it is that they're never gonna do it because they just want to get you in on the whole fucking thing. But I wish I could just pay like $10 and only have the Star Wars content, like the Star Wars package or something. I would just rather just it get capped out.
I want to see the X-Men cartoon.
Yeah. No, I want to see it too. But when it comes out, like I said, we're gonna watch it and we'll cover it and shit. Like it'll be fun. But besides that, like that doesn't justify me having their service for like over $100 a year.
Yeah,
over 100. Like under 100, I'm like okay. But when
since Bob wants to sell ESPN, fuck supporting that too, I guess, right? Like
and once again, like the way that get their shit set up, like basically Star Wars fans are still kind of having to subsidize sports and shit I don't care about. I just would rather just pay to the things I care about personally. I don't want to spend money on.
Where else are you gonna watch curling at 2 a.m., Jason?
I don't want any of that stuff. And so in a perfect world though, they would just allow me to like go back to like when the show would come out, like, oh, I'm just gonna buy like the season pass on Apple. Now I own the show forever and I can watch it as they hit. I would rather if they just did that model and they could just get the $40 per Star Wars show out of me, that'd be great.
Can we just get Star Wars TV?
Yeah, no, they would be. Well, they looked into that first.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, they were looking into like doing like what WWE essentially did, where it was like an app. It was just and and if they also just did that, if they just still did that and with the same content at the same time, that'd be great too. You know what I mean? They would, but instead they're going to actually lose money on me this year. If they went the other way, it was like a little bit cheaper and it was just the Star Wars, they would actually make more money from me specifically. And so I actually think that by offering those choices, they would make more money in the big picture. But they're not really, they are finally putting Mandalorian out on like 4K Blu-ray or whatever. What is that called now? Is it called 4K Blu? What is it? What is the 4K fucking disc called? I can't even remember.
4K DVD Blu-ray.
I bought like one in my life. I think I bought Labyrinth, and I never bought another one like that. But
VCD.
VCDs, yeah. I remember having Star Wars on 2 discs. I had to buy it from I think China, maybe something like that. But it was better than the at the time. It was pre DVD is better than the VHS, so that was why I did it. It still fucks with my head sometimes. I remember like where the changeovers are on some of them, like Phantom Menace. Like Anakin goes up, when he goes up on the ramp and the pod race.
Yeah,
that's where mine would cut, and I'd have to go over to the second disc.
Oh,
so whenever I watch that movie, I still go like it still kind of fucks with because I watched it so intensely back then. But but anyways, So next week we got the like final episode of this show.
4 out of 10.
You give the episode 4 out of 10.
4 out of 10.
I'm giving it. I don't feel like it's a 5, but I'm giving it I feel like that's too low, but I feel like this one was definitely like a 6 because everything before it was much more intriguing. But I call it It's Quiet Before the Storm episode. It's the transitional episode. The right answer would have been to have released this one with the final episode, probably. But how about you, Max? Do you feel comfortable?
I'm only doing 1 thumbs up or 2 thumbs up. Yeah.
Give it 1 thumbs up.
The whales give it 1 out of 10.
Oh no.
Yeah, the whales say fuck this show.
Jedi Mike says 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
So
well, Jedi Mike has a coke problem. So.
What? Jedi Mike doesn't have a coke problem.
Have you seen him Purgles for fucking 8 years on that Santa show when he goes on there? Purgles. He goes on like Rip Taylor. Purgles.
Yeah. But yeah, I know. Like Soundwave says, the copy of Jurassic Park I grew up with was taped on VHS from cable with commercials, and I still remember where the ad breaks are. Yeah, I know. I have that
memory, that rote memory you build in, especially as a kid, fucks with you, man. Like if you've ever played emulation, right, and you don't have the exact same setup as you had as a kid, you're like doing moves on a controller you don't have access to, it'll fuck you up. Same deal.
Don says, I loved it, 9 out of 10, but what do I know? Laugh out loud. No, Don, you're entitled to no, Don is entitled to her opinion. I mean, no, I mean,
someone's got to pay for this. You know what I mean?
Well, no,
someone's got to stand in line for those $100 Filoni signatures. Don's the mark. So,
well, now you've done it. Santa gave it a 9 out of 10. So fuck you, Rob.
Well, I knew Santa would. It's got Thrawn in there. You know,
all right.
He loves his benevolent leader dictator. He loves it. He's like, lead me, Thrawn.
What was last week then for you? Because like last week's for me was a lot better.
We liked it.
Yeah, it was better.
Yeah,
but I do agree when Rob pointed out that if you haven't seen this, your friend that you're like sacrificing everything to go visit, and your embrace like sucks.
But Max, in this episode, we see what it would actually be like when Rosario Dawson does it, and you're like, yeah, that's how you would react to seeing your friend. When she goes, hey,
I would do it more.
Rob's point last week, the Ezra Sabine reunion was very like, and then when they do meet this one, it was still a little, but much better. And I was like, oh, I guess she's the Arnold Jackson of the show, you know.
Yeah, the Sabine actor, she's a great stunt person, you know, and she's a competent actor. But
cry for me.
Sorry, I'm not, you know.
Well,
I put it in the Natalie Portman category, you know, like sure, you know, fine.
Well, once again, the Natalie Portman category is with a good director, they should be brilliant, and with a director that's not the biggest actor director. Colin says, I give this stream a 10 out of 10. So Colin trying to make me rethink my 10 out of 10 stance, where I say nothing is ever a 10. But Santa says episode 6 was an 8.75. What the fuck? 8.75? No. Maybe you're just too positive.
He is 3/4 an erection. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just 3. So, see, here's the thing though, Santa. They say this shit now. They said the same thing about Kenobi. They said the same thing about Mando. But then 3 months from now, they're going to go, you know, it actually wasn't that great. So we'll get back to me in 6 months, Santa. You're on your stupid Rebels high. Wait till you wait. What?
Rebels high. Come on.
Santa took away my mom on Christmas. I've never forgiven him.
Oh,
right? Like never forget.
I'm gonna agree with Santa on this one. I think you had it coming.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying I didn't deserve it. Like,
no,
me and my therapist have been working on that problem for 20 years. You know,
your therapist paid me to say that because you know.
Yeah. I get it. Pay her enough.
No, I mean, it is. I don't know. Yeah, episode 7, a 9 out of 10. When last week was an 8. I mean, last week for me had much more intrigue, but. Oh, one last thing is, so once again, like where I just want to say where my brain's at with it. I don't know if it's the case, but what does Thrawn say to Elsbeth? He's like, oh, when he is doing his little plan, he's like, we have all of the things loaded up. But what do the things look like? They look like caskets to me. And so if this is going where I thought it's been going for a while on that front, I'm guessing that the witches are going to, maybe they're going to go with them. Maybe they're going to go to the new place when they get there, or before they leave, whichever. The witches will then do the quote threads of destiny, and then that army at the end will resurrect. You know, I had heard that the end of the show was Thrawn kind of coming down and then like seeing all of his forces amassed, and he had everything like together and things looked good for him. He had a shit together.
Great.
But well, hold on.
Got a bunch of putty patrollers from Power
I'm trying to clarify something that's important for what I've been reporting, and it's if but we had so many scenes like that with Thrawn walking down gantries full of people. It makes me go, was that the end, or is that? Did we see what my sources thought were the end last week? Did we? And this, you know what I mean? When all the stormtroopers are there, so. I don't know, man. But once again, that's just me getting like end of show nerves. Like, how does
maybe 3PO leads the New Republic into battle because they can't afford a CGI Leia? You know, that'll be great. That's how he gets the red arm. It was in the battle of 3PO versus Thrawn, right? The gold versus the blues, right? It'll look like, yeah, you'll see. Look, you got my shit talking has ended up more accurate than most people's predictions. So you be careful, you know.
Well, the whole thing like on that like methodology is, oh, you introduced intrigue and it pisses Rob off. Then if the intrigue doesn't live up to it, then Rob is invalidated. But if the intrigue does live up to it, then we don't go back to it. So you are setting yourself up to win.
I don't know what you just did. I don't understand. This is too smart for me, Jason. I don't know.
No, well,
I don't understand this game. I'm a simple man.
when it comes to like Balin's like whole thing, like they are doing that whole like, you know, trust us thing, and are you going to trust them? Now it's obviously it's up to the viewer if they have enough credit with them to like trust them or not. And with me, I always go with I'm going to trust them because it's never the same. It's never the same. Like what Andor did doesn't earn me trust on a Dave Filoni directed thing because it's not the same thing. So that's so right now on this one, that's why
I think Lizzo and Jack Black will miraculously appear in the 8th episode and fuck it all up. No, but this is the same kind of dumb Lucas logic I've been dealing with since Return of the Jedi, and so I'm just like, all right, man, I guess we're doing this shit again. Like, I would hope Filoni would have figured it out. He's made enough Star Wars to know what to do and not to do. And getting to the last act with a bunch of loose threads that you will then tie up years later in some other series is not it's not the answer. Not the answer for anybody. It's like, well, why did I watch this? Well, did you want to experience the Star Wars? Like, okay, then just show me a fucking movie that I know you would at least make somewhat complete, I guess. Like, I don't know. Like, it's 8 weeks of like, what's the end? A setup for the next thing. Oh, great. So we're in Marvel territory now.
No, in this particular show, this show isn't about a day in the life of Ahsoka. This show
can hang if it completes, but what's completed? Sabine hasn't even told Ezra, I just fucked over the whole galaxy to save you. You know?
Right. No. And will there be ramifications for it or not? I don't know. But they're not to the part where they could have or would have dealt with it yet. So we can't go like, oh, it's bad. They fucked up. They were irresponsible with their narrative, because they might be though, Rob. I just don't know yet, because they haven't got to a point where we've had enough time to like really deal with it. The dumbest
chase sequence I've seen in a long time on the pill bugs running 3 miles an hour. They're on golf carts essentially.
That was
super dumb.
Yeah, that was supposed to be like
dragged out. You know, it's like the slowest pod race you've ever seen. Like
what I think is
slower and less intense.
What I think is likely going to happen in all of this, I mean, if it goes where it should, is Thrawn will return. Thrawn is likely going to sack Coruscant. He's going to fuck it up. And then that's going to be the real, like, the reason that we don't have Coruscant as the capital of the New Republic when we get to the sequel trilogy. Remember, JJ just wanted to blow up Coruscant and destroy it forever. And they were like, you can't do that forever. That's a mainstay. That planet's like in the old Republic, the New Republic. No, you're not doing that. And so that's why they like did that. Well, now I think that's where this might go. And you don't want her going, oh my God, I know what I've done. I fucking done it. Oh God, why did I do that? And you're just like, well, what did you do, bitch? What's your fucking problem? They have to show us. So in my opinion, it goes home to roost at that moment when Thrawn just fucks up Coruscant in a way that makes them literally leave the planet, and like, you know, for a time, and the everything is in chaos, and we get to that film and stuff. I think that's where it should likely play out. But then, see, that's where I'm like, where I on one hand will justify the flow of the narrative for it's a cartoon. But then
look, if he already left in this episode and made it, and the opening of that is him attacking Coruscant, and then Sabine and Ahsoka them have to go to wherever Balin is, and whatever that is how they get back. You know what I mean? Maybe, you know what I mean? Like then, then it sets up this future. Okay, then you're sort of in a way resolving the story being told in this series. This is not a continuing TV show. Like, we're getting 24 episodes every fucking year. This is a mini series movie, you know, to an extent dragged out across 8 episodes, that if this were condensed into 2-hour film, it's still like probably not going to have a giant payoff. It's just going to be a setup to something else. It's not resolving its own stories. It's sort of letting you, with your attachment to these characters, fill in the gaps in the way that Lucas did the prequels. And I'm just telling you, it's not my kind of storytelling. I get severely annoyed by it because I'm like, it's 20 years of this.
Or like, but also, or it ends up going and then it puts the fucking New Republic on the ropes, and then we end up with a movie with a climate that we did not expect, and then where that film and whatever Filoni does in his film series ends up being intriguing. Like now it might not be that.
You think when Thrawn blows up Coruscant, right, or fucks the shit out of it, do they do the Buster Keaton circle iris out thing like they did on Mando season 3, right?
Most definitely.
Right?
Well, no, and then he opens it up. He goes, "Can I ask?" And then
that's all, right? but that's Thrawn, folks.
That's all, folks.
No, that's Thrawn, folks. Like,
sorry.
Yeah.
No, I mean, but this series, like, and just based off of the spoilers that we've had this whole time, has always been, this is just going to this place. This is all about just getting our guys together and then out of that place for something bigger. And now, is the idea of that gonna pay off? Well, when we finally get it all, we'll know. Like we'll know when the film's out in 2027, if that even happens in time or whatever it's supposed to be. But
2028. Yeah. In the next election, we'll know.
Right.
You know, if there is a next election, you know, like
but I mean, it's like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of it like I might be punching above my pay grade here, but like there's this anime One Piece, so like 1,000 episodes. I imagine when you watch 1,000 episodes of a show, because Star Wars is going to be 1,000 episodes of a show, there's probably streaks where it's very magical and very good and the payoff is really great. And then there's probably like whole other things when it's just like, oh my God, this is like tedious and this is going nowhere and meandering. I don't know, but I would imagine if you do 1,000 episodes of anything, that's just the way it's going to go. Mumbo Jimbo gives $4.99 super chat, and he's a channel member. Thank you, Mumbo. My prediction: episode 8 will cut to Grogu catching frogs and Mando rocking in a chair on a porch all episode. So, look,
now some fans are out there saying that marks the end of the Mando story. And I'm like, you guys, the way it resolves, it's totally done now. They can move on to something else. I'm like, you guys are nuts. You know?
We completely have Mando. Remember, all of this is happening in this other part of the galaxy. Mando's like, you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm just going to hunt Imperials now. That'd be cool. Those guys are fucking bitches. Like, they're just all over the place. We got rid of Gideon. Like, this is fucking slim pickings. I'll train the kid. It'll go great. And then meanwhile, Thrawn's coming back. The Remnant's gonna fucking forge back, merge back up and all that kind of stuff. And then it's gonna end up a really bad time for Mando. And his that's the
name of season 4. A really bad time for Mando.
A really bad time.
Yeah.
Mando's Monday. And then it says Monday, right?
Mando's Monday. Wish it was a Thrawn day. Half past Filoni day.
Yeah, so
a butt day.
But no, all of these, these stories, are they gonna make it intriguing? Is it gonna, does Balin actually have something? Like, what is Balin doing? I mean, that's what people are supposed to be asking, and is it a ruse? Does he really have something good that he's doing? I hope so. You know what I mean? Will it happen next episode? It might. What Balin's doing might be revealed in the next episode, or it might be something. I think we should be prepared for there to be frustrating things that don't get resolved in the seasons because of the movie. Because you're going to have to put all of the best parts in that movie. You're not going to put all of your best parts in your idea.
Like, do Mandos have Christmas themed armor for Life Day?
Of course,
that should be in the movie.
Yeah,
right.
Well, they do. Lego's canon now, so I think so.
Yeah.
Is it? No, it's not.
Well, Nadine's hair.
Madine, have some respect. He's a fucking general, dude.
Have some show Dick some respect.
Wouldn't it have been rad if General Madine walked in, walked up to Hera and fucking ripped her badge off of her fucking thing and said, "We're
like Louis Gossett Jr." Madine. Right? Louis Gossett Jr. as she pulls a Louis Gossett. Maydeen walks in there like Louis Gossett Jr. and just goes, "Where's Regent?" He goes, "I got nowhere else to go." That kid, he lives in his ship. He got green hair.
Hear me out. Okay?
I want to abandon him with the Jedi, but I just can't do it.
I'm seeing the casting for General Maydeen. I'm seeing Ryan Gosling. Mm-hmm. You guys, Ryan Gosling, General Maydeen.
I want Matt Berry. What? General Maydeen, I've been eating really well.
Come on,
Me and
man.
Thrawn have been eating at craft services for
Respect
full
the legacy.
Can I just say something? Like,
Sure.
During this gap of episode 6 and 7,
mind the gap.
Yeah, the Skywalker stuff. Like, I still want to know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Well, no,
and I think it would have been cool if he just continued it. We wouldn't be where we are right now, but.
Well, I don't you.
Well, you
I mean,
you got your shit out of luck, Max, because we're getting Skeleton Crew, and you get to watch a bunch of kids get lost in a galaxy and find their way home. Can't wait.
Yeah, but also we could be setting up a situation where when we get into by the next phase, it is what Max said, and it's Luke Skywalker with Jude Law and Ahsoka Tano and Sabine and Ezra. And
where's my girl?
Which one?
Princess Leia.
Oh, Princess Leia? No, sorry, Baby Factory, get the fuck out of here. We don't need you around, Leia. You're too fucking.
They don't have the AI budget after the strike to get away with that. They can only spend it.
That's why an animated series would be really good.
For that. But by that point, Leia will have Kylo Ren. Ben Solo is alive. Like, Ben was on his wrist. That's one of the other things. Is in that last episode, there was a bunch of names on Balin's wristband, and it's like Luke, Leia, Han, Chewie, R2, and 3PO, and Ben at the very end is Ben. And people go, "Oh, that's an homage to the original trilogy." No, they wouldn't call him Ben. They would call him Obi-Wan. Dave Filoni never used Ben as Obi-Wan's name unless Obi-Wan was going into deep cover. That's the only time he ever used the name Ben, and that's why Ben chooses that name. That was his undercover name. And that's a Dave Filoni concept. So when it says Ben there, that means Han Solo and Princess Leia's child. And so I don't...
No, Jason, we call it under the covers plan around here. Know what I'm saying? It's under the covers plan.
It's your universe, Filoni.
To get under there, pretend he's Ben, right? Mm-hmm. Sneaking around the Death Star and all that stuff. I love it.
Sneaky.
Sneaky snake.
Sneaky snake. I got the leak. Yeah. No. But anyway, so yeah, I've seen people debating if that's like important or not, and it might not be. But if it is, that definitely implies that it's Ben Solo on his wrist thing. You know what I mean? And yeah, Ben would be somewhere between 6 and 8 years old, as the real Ben is telling us right here.
What if he bullies Jason? Can we watch that? I want to see that series where it's Cobra Kai. He's like, "Fuck you and your green hair."
God, you know my fucking dicks.
What? Yeah. Your dad was a Jedi. My uncle's the best Jedi. My uncle could kick your dad's ass, right? Like that. That's what they do, Jason. These are 80s kids, right?
But
timeline centric.
And I do think Shin is going to become a good guy. I think they telegraphed that in the episode when she has that moment of thinking about it.
Good girl. Said guy, and I'm like, who?
Yeah.
So he
and she'll be with Luke too.
He ditched her, right? He ditched her.
Yeah,
Balin seemed like he did. Like
Balin said that to her and gave her an order. I'm guessing that she's smart enough to know, like, to go, like, maybe he did fucking throw me away. But she's also part of her's probably thinking that another part of her's probably like, this is gonna pick back up. He's not telling me to go there and do this for no reason. And before that, he's popping her up and telling her, "I've raised you to be something more." You don't tell somebody I'm raising you to be something more and then abandon them because you don't care about it.
You do if you're a bad writer, you know,
or a bad father.
I think he's keeping her in place. You think he's making Thrawn think that she's an asset, that she's been abandoned, and then that will mean that now, you know, somebody at his beck and call or whatever, you know. That's my take. Anyways, it's hard to say how it'll shake out.
So you think that the movie that he's making is kind of Heir to the Empire-ish?
No, not at all. I don't really buy into any of that. I think Star Wars fans are jumping through hoops to find plot beats that are similar, that are just generic ass.
Why are you making accusations? That's not what I'm saying. I'm just asking.
No, I'm talking about. You need to shut your fucking face, Max. I'm tired of you fucking pushing this Heir to the Empire.
She's just gonna go right back onto Reddit and make your life hell, Jason. What are you doing?
I know it's you, Max. I know it's you.
Max gets her revenge. She got nothing else to do in that Uber car, right? No. She's waiting. Right?
Hardly. Oh my gosh. No.
Off the Reddit, fucking Jason.
Sorry, it's like this week. But no, I really don't think that there's a lot of similarity to Heir to the Empire in any of the stuff, and I never really truly have, other than the fact that Thrawn's the essence of Thrawn's character and the concept of him is important to Heir to the Empire. And then therefore just his existence in this time will always make it where somebody's like, that's just like Heir to the Empire. And there's always a chance that it like Filoni's just becomes super fucking aware of this. But like KM22 was saying, Shin equals Mara Jade. Until I see Mara Jade pop up, I don't believe it, because Mara Jade was more important, I think, than Thrawn.
Yeah, she was the hand of the Emperor. I mean,
I'm talking about
the hand.
The hand, yeah.
The hand.
To the core of that narrative, everything that makes those pieces go together. Like she's an antagonist who becomes one of the protagonists in that trilogy. People also like to just take Heir to the Empire and go like, that's the whole thing, and it was a trilogy and it sucked, I think. For them to be real about it,
I read
Last Command. I was like,
to the second one. I was just
I was bringing a book to the book. That's how bored I was in the third book. But anyways,
but it's just a cartoon. Doesn't matter.
No, that was a book.
It's a cartoon book,
a novel, and the things that
you saw real people. I saw a cartoon, so I can say it was a cartoon book. It's got a comic. It's like a cartoon.
Mumbo says there's a lot of hate, not a lot of Max hate going in this episode. No, we love Max. We just
me.
Yeah, we're just gonna put you in your place though, because you can.
I'm not hating on this episode.
You're a little uppity sometimes. You get a little like in our face and stuff. Always like telling people to shut up. Always like insulting people in the chat.
I've been supportive. I just know Max. You know, she just likes. One of us is betraying Jason on Reddit, and I'm gonna figure out who it is. It might be me. I haven't. I
just pulled on yourself.
I don't have the time for that.
Yeah, that's exactly what someone who's betraying us would say, Max.
Oh,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Real Ben Maynard says, any Grisk news? In my opinion, no, but let's just like be like,
what about the Grisk?
Yeah,
but he's trying to protect us and save us from the Grisk.
To be real about things, I don't think you go and you put in you don't think you do a publishing agenda and then not have the payoff in the publishing agenda. If you have a thread that is going through several books, it needs to pay off in the books. And if you go and then you have it become this screen thing, then you end up having this perspective of that means it's more important. But in terms of the book stuff itself, even if people at Lucasfilm do think that, and some of them do think that, you can't sell that to your customers of those products. That would be I think it would be a bad commercial move for them to go and then have the Grisk show up. Now, and absolutely.
Every time I hear the Grisk, I hear the Briss. Just letting you know.
Like, I just think it's Grisky business.
The brisket.
Get out of my
69th episode of Seinfeld.
The brisket.
The Briss.
Yeah. But it just ends up it ends up being where I'm just like, I just don't see how you do that, not disappoint people, and then like not have the payoff there unless you did a novel.
Just the Yuvong Zong thing all over again, Jason. That's when I quit the books.
It's better.
Like, I'm done with this shit.
It's a better version of it because they're sort of like more like Marauder-esque in that way. And then you also have the ones also in the High Republic era too.
I watch Strange New Worlds and I enjoy it, but the Gorn, it's stupid. Like they're doing everything they can to try to make the Gorn cool, and it's not cool. Like I don't care.
It's a one-note concept at the end of the day.
Right. It's a one-note concept that you can't hang a whole series on.
And then
if you have the complexity of something like on Deep Space Nine, where you had the shit, the Cardassians and the changelings and that kind of shit. The Dominion is the one note problem. The super soldiers, they're the least interesting part of Deep Space Nine. It's the other more complex things, that actually have feelings and thinking. This one super army that could kill us all, I don't give two shits about. It's like the super orcs in Lord of the Rings. I'm not interested in that story. That's not the interesting part of this,
And like Ben brings up the best analogy is that's the same train of thought as well for the video game stuff. Yeah, it's like when you have the Fallen Order arc going on, and that game is being played by somewhere in the 30 million people plus range, and then you have these Disney Plus shows that are like, we got 14 million people to watch it, hand clap. It would be a demotion for that in that way, and you would not want the game resolved on live action. Now characters showing up, the Grisk somehow existing in that world, that's completely on the table. I would never say that can't happen, that there can't be an episode of Mando where he takes a wrong corner and then, oh no, it's
episode,
the Grisk, know? Yeah, like that.
The whole antagonist of a series, no.
Yeah, you can't do that. You have to give that resolution to the people in the medium from which they're the opposite goes for these kind of shows. Imagine if we don't get the second season of Ahsoka and it's just a book series. Like that's the same disappointment though.
Oh, I would love that. That would be so funny. Like that would be, and 3PO still shows up because they're sticking to it, even though they can write a Leia in, right? But they're they won't give it up, right?
Mama says, I can't say Grisk without saying ho 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 in Xana's afterwards. Grisk. Yeah. So like I said, might that be a thing for Thrawn in the end, or might that? I mean, or I don't think Balin's going to the center of that planet to get the Grisk either, or where that voice that's calling to him. But when you do have a voice calling to him, when he says that is the case, it does imply it's something powerful and something mystical, something that only a Jedi would hear. He asks Shin, do you hear? And she's like, nah, this motherfucker's crazy. She's not hearing it yet. You know what I mean? That's kind of like an implication in the scene, I think. So with all of that said, I would imagine that he's going to come out with something more powerful that Thrawn couldn't possibly fucking know to get. But when we have the witches that are there, now my theoretical brain goes to, there's these witches on this planet with this power that we think is the power of, we've seen it in the Clone Wars, the power of restoration. We've had them address bringing things to life and killing it, and what a ruse it can be. And Thrawn sees it as a ruse to some extent. And stuff like that. So it's like kind of confusing about what it is going on with this stuff. But if that power is there, I mean, like, what if Balin's whole plan is, like I said before, to resurrect fucking dead Jedi?
Balin on Shin. That's
what if
name.
He takes?
He bails on her. He's like, I'm later, hottie. I'm Balin.
Well, no. What if he takes those Jedi in amber and fucking resurrects those guys?
Oh no, we're going back.
No, but and then what are the ramifications of doing? No, I'm saying though.
That's so nasty. Resurrect.
A resurrection.
I like it. Now I like it. Do it.
No, but
do they do the Thriller dance, Jason?
No, it just goes
my point with all of this isn't that I'm saying I believe that's what's going to happen. My point is the possibilities of what can happen and what that might be is very big. And I just don't think he's going to come out at the end with a cool land speeder that has a cool paint job and fucking, you know what I mean? Helps
and that is why Santa has you on his show and not me, because you will entertain that shit for 2 hours. And I'm like, it's fucking dumb, dude.
I like speculation a lot. I don't like speculation that is either agenda driven, like some theoretical shows. And I don't like, bait and switchers. And I don't like speculation when it's just like so fucking stupid and off base that like it's already been debunked by the narrative itself. But when it comes up like what's next, I think that speculation is fine and healthy and fun.
If zombies are Thrawn's ultimate plan for winning everything, then
I don't.
Why hide Palpatine zombie on the other side of the galaxy?
Okay, so number one, I'm not saying that's what it is, and I don't think that's what they've said. That's his ultimate plan. That's a plan that would be a logistical. That would be an answer to a temporary logistical problem. Is if
I get the Empire or the remnants of the Empire wanting to resurrect out Palpatine in lack of leadership. But that wasn't a plan they did. Palpatine apparently in episode 9 made a bunch of drone Snokes with his stupid cult wizards because it makes no fucking sense. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's just, I don't know, man. Like, the more I don't know how you can make sense of episode 9. You just kind of can't. Like,
you can
best to just let it. Best to let it
go. No, because you're the thing that you're operating on is you're assuming knowledge in that. Thrawn is in some ways as ignorant as Ezra. Now Thrawn has been talking through the witches to the other witch on the outside. So to what knowledge he has and what he's been focused on is hard to say. He probably doesn't know what Gideon knows. He probably doesn't know what the remnant knows. He may Paleon might have had a fucking like code given to him from the witch that says Thrawn's alive, here's the proof. Do this. And he's like, are you fucking serious? And he sees this code. He's like, that's our secret number. It's 69. And then so then now Paleon's like, okay, I fucking believe it, you know? And then like so we don't know what the knowledge is there, and we don't entirely know what they know about Palpatine, to what extent, like, and I think in the narrative right now, my reading of it would be that Hux knows. Hux's daddy, Big Hux Senior, he knows what's up. Paleon kind of knows what's up. But we don't know necessarily if Paleon is like even talked to Thrawn in the last 10 years. We don't. All of that stuff is and would change the ramifications of that narrative if they have or when they have.
Gideon's dead by this point, right?
Yes. If he really died in that one, he might have. You know, did he die in that last scene?
He was just Gideon. You.
Was it a clone? Because he could have cloned himself a lot. It could have been a ruse. That might not have been the real one.
Yeah. So then, plan of Palpatine creating a fake empire to bring back his real shitty empire.
And once again, these guys might just be doing this. Palpatine might not really care about what they're doing, or and in my opinion, Palpatine is fucking really fucked up and injured. And he's not in a place to even do anything. And that's why we have the whole Snoke thing that comes about.
And Thrawn goes back and he's like, sees Gideon. He's like, you bitch.
Filoni and Favreau said we were going to get the opening of the First Order. We were going to be, how the First Order comes about is going to be a Mando arc. And we kind of got some of the like little bits of it, but we're not there yet. So it could go deeper. It might not though. It might not even connect. This might just be, you know, Thrawn's rebellion, so to speak. This might, at the end of the day, that might be what all of this amounts to. And then they had to really like defeat the remnants of the Empire in this era. And then that's why they're so weak when the First Order does rise. And it is the serious one. Like Palpatine really is back. And now it's, you know, that's why it happens that way.
I'm going to be stupid for a second.
You're allowed.
Because watching The Force Awakens, when I saw it, I thought that Kylo was the beginning of, or starting the beginning of the First Order.
Yeah. So,
but I guess not.
That stuff with Kylo is the galaxies. Like, we're here. That's the big. Here we are. It was we're back. But the First Order project has been like in the books and shit like that. It's been being set up over time with like Brendel Hux and that kind of jazz. So, and then there's eventually in the books, and this is the canon book that does inform this show and it's been respected, is that there is eventually sort of like a treaties with them out there where they're just told like, yeah, we're gonna, that's their space. They're outside of Republic jurisdiction. They're allowed to exist, and that's why they've been out on that periphery. But it's not until we get to around the time that Poe Dameron becomes a resistance guy. Poe Dameron's a criminal who becomes a pilot for the Republic, then gets wind that shit's going on out here. He's sort of like Carson Teva. And then he's like, fuck that, and Leia enlists him, and then he becomes part of Leia's secret like resistance, kind of thing, because she knows what's coming. So, but what we're seeing in the meta narrative of the story right now is that the Republic, the citizens of the Republic, and the Republic body itself has a bunch of Imperial sympathizers in it, but also everybody's fucking tired of 20 years of the Clone Wars into a galactic civil war, or to the Prussian into Civil War. People just want normalcy. They don't want to even acknowledge right now that there's other threats that need to be dealt with. They want that post World War II America. It's what they want, but they're not getting it. They're getting like something, they're getting World War III like the very next day, and then because of Star Wars. And so everyone is like denying that it's like a thing. And then, but I think what we're going to have is they are going to have to come to terms with that. It is a problem. They're going to stand up to it, but then they're going to be like, okay, now we've done it. And then that's what allows the first order. So if you want to,
they elect Ezra Howard to be their next president.
That's fair.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
But when you look at how that would go, you could say it's Palpatine's bigger plan. Palpatine's like, yeah, let them go out there and do their, because let's then pull out and look at it from Palpatine's perspective. If these motherfuckers want to go and oppress the galaxy again, and then they were to do all that, and they just do it on their own, and then you're Palpatine, and then you get your new body, you get into your Snoke body, your dick's bigger than it's ever been your whole life. You just show up and you're like, thank you, I'm taking this all. And let's size up Thrawn. I'm 8 feet tall. I play basketball. Do you? And Thrawn's gonna be like, fuck, I'm a little chubby right now.
But you just said you take it all, so
yeah. So, anyways, but so from a Palpatine perspective, if they do succeed, then cool. I'm just gonna take it and right back to business as usual. And then if they fucking fail, then fine, because I'm in Ben Solo's head, putting voices in his head, making him a little crazy dude. And I'm gonna turn that guy, and then I'm
in Ben Solo. I'm in Ben Solo.
God, so nasty.
I'm in Ben Solo.
Ben Solo.
Oh, never mind. Oops.
You don't get the wordplay. You're being nasty.
No, I got it.
You were being nasty.
Did Jackson have a song called Invincible?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. I think we're on to our next song. Anyways,
Ben Solo.
Yeah, but I mean, so like I said, that's why I don't think these agendas necessarily have to play into each other. They could, but they also, some of the people might be in on the agenda on the Palpatine thing. Some might not be. Thrawn might, the books make Thrawn a good guy. There's been absolutely nothing in this narrative that makes me think he has anything to do with honor or whatever. I mean, he does. The only honorable thing we see him do is he does let Sabine go. He honors that deal. He has reason to go with revenge against Sabine for the Rebels series stuff. But other than that, there's nothing that makes me think that's the guy from the books who's like, I'm doing all of this for a greater good. He's not said one fucking thing about the greater good in this narrative yet. And now
selfish.
In the big picture, though, could we end up in a place where he does learn about Palpatine and does change his mind, does change things into a greater good? You know what I mean? And it tears itself apart like at the last second. Like, that's completely, I think, on the table. I could see that being possible, But once again, you just have to, if you want to speculate, though, like what me and Bespin do when we speculate, we don't speculate from our own selves. Like, that's our thing we've talked about on Fortnite. We don't speculate as what we want to happen. We speculate what we think Filoni would do. We speculate I
spitulate, right?
You Filoni-bait.
I Filoni bait. I Filoni bait for real. Like, that's when but I spitulate. See, like, I speculate out of spite, right? Like, I talk shit, and then it ends up being more true than when I accurately go, here's what, because, like, man, there's a part of me that feels like there isn't a real critical eye towards what they're doing internally. There's more like second guessing whether we should go here or not. And then they sort of pull back. And then you end up with this like fans will just sort of decide. And I'm like, that's just not storytelling. For make a decision. That you go down the J.J. Abrams path, you end up with the wasted trilogy in some sense, you know? It's like, do you have fun moments? Sure. Do you have characters you like? Sure. What does it ultimately pay off to? Jack squat. You know, hope someone else fixes it later.
Yeah, that's what really it seems like they're doing now.
That's what the job of the Arbaid Shinoy movie is supposed to. It's not Filoni's job to fix it. Give me a relevant story for this timeline. If it's all building towards Palpatine's stupid Snoke drone plan, then this is.
It can be building toward. It's going to have to interface into that. It doesn't mean the whole purpose, the whole point of it.
Yeah, when they briefly mention it in the Gideon scene, I'm fine with that. But if it's like Thrawn's bringing zombies and we're going to use witch powers and somehow this is going to somehow explain it's like, man, Thrawn's genius wasn't that he found magic. He found a way around the Jedi magic, and trying to use an old crazy Jedi to help him deal with Luke Skywalker was a take. So there's hey, I got these witches to deal with the Jedi that probably were going to show up. Okay, there's a take. It's not a bad take. But then he's like, oh, but I got these Jedi mercenaries. I didn't even know these fucking things existed, right? But I'm just going to let them fucking die because I don't need their shit either. Because fuck the Jedi. I don't know, man. It's just so fucking, it's just weird. I don't understand the logic behind it.
Shogun Orda gives a $2 super chat and says, Balin, I'm Balin. I can't unhear this now. Balin. How did you say it? Say it.
What? I'm Balin. He's bailing on you. Right?
I'm bailing on you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm bailing on my hottie.
Yeah.
Right? Like bailing, bitch. You know, like.
Yeah. And then Garth Knight. Sorry, guys. I missed these two super chats somehow. I went to check to make sure I didn't miss anything. I think I did. Garth Knight for 99 super says Balin is hearing some time travel DeLorean stuff in those volcanic mountains. Yeah, it's completely possible. But the thing with that, Rob, is that like I don't think it's all working towards that. Like that's the whole point. Is like, and now here's the First Order, because I think that it's going to be more than that. I think that like there's a lot of things that's working towards before that point. And if when Luke Skywalker's Jedi Temple is built, which we just saw pretty much just happened right now, and it has no students in it, and Grogu's up, but it's about to get filled up. Like that's another thing that all of this is working toward. That's why, like I said, I think Shin and Sabine and Ezra and Ahsoka and maybe Grogu, maybe not, but will all end up being Luke's first round of his.
Santa always wants to bring up Lord of the fucking Rings, right? Well, I'm going to bring up Full Metal Alchemist. And when you had first brought up a year ago that, you know, Ezra was probably doing Kung Fu, right? Or some version of karate or something with the Force, right? Using the Shiraz Kasi. To me, in Full Metal Alchemist, they have a country where they are able to use alchemy powers, right? And they have a certain way of doing it. And then there's this giant desert. And on the far east, there's another country, and some people come from that country. And when they come into their country's sort of cursed in a way, right? Their reaction to that power is different. They're able to nullify it. They're able to nullify it in a way, and it actually makes it interesting. You're like, well, how are you doing this? They don't have the handicaps that the other people have here, but they have their own. And so, like Ezra being able to use an older power, that's how he somehow was able to survive on the planet with all these mercenaries and Thrawn and everywhere else. Like there's something there to that, but this show ain't doing any of that shit. He's just like, look, I push you, I run. You know, I don't need a lightsaber. The Force is my ally. Okay, man, can we stop referencing previous Star Wars shit and just tell the actual story in some logical narrative way or meaningful way? That it's annoying. Like
when it comes to the like the one of the interesting ramifications of all of this is so Palpatine would want the Night Sisters. That would, back during the episode 7 era, people used to always say, oh, the Night Sisters some of them are going to resurrect Palpatine. That's how it happens.
The Night Sisters.
But
according to me.
No, but that's the whole thing is, it sounds like Palpatine got in there, got all up in Mother Talzin's guts.
Nuts.
Made her fall in love, and her nuts too.
Them kind of sisters.
Yeah. And then he traded power with her, learned some of her stuff, her secrets. She learned some of his, supposedly, but then he fucking stole her son, stole Darth Maul stole them all, and then turned them into that, and then massacred them all later on. Had Dooku and Grievous go down there and murder them all. And killed them. So, but my point is, when those witches find out Palpatine is out there, and if Thrawn is in league with Palpatine, he's going to lose the witch vote. The witches aren't going to be a part of it. The witches are going to turn on them at that point. So they're sort of a weird, interesting politics to it.
But Thrawn should already know this or have figured it out if he was the Zon Thrawn, but he's not the Zon Thrawn. He's the Filoni Thrawn. The Filoni Thrawn's a fucking idiot.
Or Thrawn doesn't, or Thrawn thinks Palpatine's dead, and is like, yeah, that has nothing. I don't agree with that. And then they're like, okay, and then they see.
But I'm certain somewhere along the line when Thrawn was going up the ranks, Palpatine made him a paper mache frog or some shit like that, right? And Thrawn was able to read that frog and know Palpatine would resurrect himself from it. See,
because paper mache
is that Grogu?
Huh? Yeah. He made a paper mache minch.
No, but they definitely have. They have there's a friction there, and that may come about later on in this story. You know what I'm saying? Because of what happened to the Night Sisters on Dathomir, and they were killed by Palpatine. So if it does go that far, now I'm of the opinion.
The most interesting thing you think is annoying when most people are happy that they reference Yoda. Yoda wouldn't use the blaster. He would have been able to just take care of these dudes. So don't say the Force is my ally, I don't need a lightsaber, and then pick up a gun and start shooting people. It's not the same thing.
No, he doesn't.
How his the kung fu shit could be used in. There's an interesting visual way to do here, but they have not. Look, man, this probably takes another year of prep to do. To be honest with you, so don't introduce a concept you can't fulfill on. Like it's just pushing now. It's not.
Well, I think maybe you're taking it more seriously than they wanted to take it.
I guarantee you, I'm taking it more seriously than they are.
Well, yeah, he doesn't need a lightsaber, and yeah, he will pick up a gun and use it because Star Wars Rebels
is that lightsaber in the next episode. You know,
what you're missing from that narrative, that part of the narrative on the character is that initially his lightsaber has a gun in it. It is like a gun, it is like a stun gun.
He still needs a gun, but not the saber. Gotcha.
But then when he's moved on to this new place, he has moved beyond it. And we know he's been doing that for like 10 years.
But that's because Filoni played Final Fantasy VIII and he loves a gun blade, so he just made one in Star Wars.
But he'll using the Force for defense would still be pulling the gun to you and then turning it on your attempted killer.
Yeah, using it in defense. But there's a point, man, where you're like, okay, 9 of these guys I'm fighting against all have lightsabers, and I hope it's ridiculous at some point.
Yeah, I would have probably like there were good moments. Like I like when Shin hits his fucking hair and cuts his hair, and they do that little
I like
stick, it's the blood a little bit kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that stuff was all cool. Yeah. Now I would have probably
have had something like that.
I would probably have had him like pushing their guns away from their hands as they fire them into each other. Not like Darth Vader turning the gun and making them blow their heads off, but just literally
or deflecting the blaster so it shoots them or something. You know, there's a way, or lift, or I don't know, man.
Sorry.
Yeah. But
whatever.
Well, one of the so Cam 22 brings up something. So we'll wrap up. Everyone way long. Night Sisters act like Rook and kill Thrawn, and he delivers, but it's so artistically done. Line from the novels. Yeah. So my one of my things with Thrawn as a character in this live action show specifically is that he needs to really fuck somebody over bad. Wow. Like not fuck him, Max, just fuck him over. No, because the thing about it is right now, in terms of just being a villain, it's just it's all in terms of just this show. We just block everything out. Then we just look at what is this? Well, what's his problem? He wants to go home too. And then is it bad for the Republic? Well, we don't know. He hasn't said he's going to do anything bad to the Republic. There hasn't been any plan to do anything to the Republic that has been unveiled yet. And then he hasn't done anything terrible to our protagonist, has he? Now, if you watch Rebels, then it's there. Okay, cool. but most people didn't watch Rebels, and it's all just in these sequences. So Thrawn needs to do something where we go, what a son of a bitch. Like that has to happen. That's what I need in terms of the live action part of this narrative. And it's because it's not really delivering on that
witch, son of a witch.
Son of a witch.
Turns out those mother is actually his mom. One of them is his mom. Oh, they're all three his moms. Yeah. Takes 3 witches to make a Thrawn.
But also, and then one last thing before we go to is to remember is that we're gonna have Anakin's Force Ghost in the show. So what you're gonna end up having though is Ahsoka's ability throughout the series to interact with the master who fell apart, and then the guy after that stuff. And now we're not going to have that scene in this show. We're just going to have Anakin as the ghost appearing to Ahsoka and giving the old Return of the Jedi smile to her.
Will Filoni get really funny with us and make it deep fake Sebastian Shaw just to fuck with us? You know what I mean? Like yeah. So and then Ahsoka totally knows who that is.
I wish George Lucas would have like a boring week and be like, hey guys, I want to go and do another special edition. Can I do it? And just put Hayden and Return of the Jedi. I would prefer it at this point. I think it'd be better. Just for the overall Star Wars thing, you know. But anyways,
I was gonna replace myself with Sebastian Shaw. Like it'll be me. Oh yeah, Papa Noida. Yeah.
It's fair. Skywalker's Academy says he's being too critical. He doesn't understand. You take the weapon from the enemy in the fight and defeat them with or without it. Either way, it's the same thing.
Oh yeah, totally the same thing. Yeah, it's genius. I'm glad Filoni wrote it. Yeah, brilliant.
Garth
Jonathan Hales is taking notes. Genius.
Mm-hmm. Poor Jonathan Hales.
Yeah.
Jonathan.
See you in 3 months, Skywalker's Academy. Like.
Garth Knight give 49 super chat and says, I want echoes of Thrawn's dick move to be in Rian Johnson's trilogy for poetry's sake. You want it all to rhyme. Yeah. I'm of the opinion I don't know. I have a feeling a lot of these filmmakers are stepping on each other's toes when we look at the news.
They're high heels.
Yeah, on each other's high
heels. just clog stomping their toes. He just walks around, just starts smashing their shit like he's Godzilla. He's like, I'm walking all over your Star Wars freaking bitch, you know, like I take it, a man's gold, you know. That's right. I can fuck up an Indiana Jones film and get a Star Wars film, man's gold, right?
Yeah. No, but I mean, because we had a filmmaker say, I was working on the Origin of the Jedi. It was the Dark Knight writer. And then we have Mangold doing it. Yeah, and then we have Mangold who's doing like the same thing, and so it's like kind of and then people assumed Ryan was doing that too, and it's like Rian. So was he?
Mangold smacked that script right out of his hand. He was like, "Fuck your script, I'm taking it." Like smack it.
But there is, one thing to also just, I don't think this will happen, but it could happen. What if we have Mangold kick off this film, and then it turns out Ryan and what's his name are all doing those same things, but they're all hitting on the same shit from different perspectives or different characters things. And what if it's like a whole new series in that era? Like they might be the ones who pick up the next films in that series after Mangold. Mangold might just be kind of laying down the foundations of the rules, and then Ryan's trilogy might come out of that. Mangold might be just the first people who discovered the Force. Ryan's might be the first Jedi that came out of that. Like there.
He did the Last Jedi, and his next movie is the First Jedi.
First Jedi.
Like it rhymes, right?
Yeah, he might. It really might go that way, Rob. And I mean, that's one of the things where when you hear about these like ideas and how it goes and shit like that, and people go, "Oh, that means it's destroyed." No, it just means
I want them to say it like Curly from the Three Stooges, the Voice Jedi, right?
The Voice Jedi. What do you want?
Yeah, no, stupid. It wasn't like the Voice Jedi. It's like the fucking second to the Last Jedi. You numbnuts, right? Yeah. Voice. Right? Right. Yeah.
So. Anyways,
the Night Stooges show up, and it's like
the
poetry,
night magic,
right?
The night magic.
Yeah.
So
throw me a soup.
Yeah, as your true says, when's the next show? I got a lot of game stuff to talk about. Yeah, I want to
week.
do a show. I want to do a show. Well, in theory, I want to do one tomorrow.
Oh.
And you know, but I was really I was sick this week.
How can we do one show a month? You know what I mean? That's
that's crazy.
What? They miss us, Jason. I like it. I get DMs. Are you ever coming back? You know?
Are you ever? No.
Yeah, I'm like never.
Yeah, I went to do a show a couple of days. I was sick and I felt better. This computer, it will turn on and then it won't turn on. I tried to be on Santa's show yesterday, and I couldn't get the computer on.
Yeah, and I saw your logo was on it, but then you didn't show up, and I was
and then I
made us at the screen.
Well, I turned the computer on, and I went to school last night. I came back home and it was on, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, but so I don't know what to do. Like, I have an external monitor hooked up to this. When Tom isn't busy, he's going to send a laptop that I'm able to use, which will be way more consistent when that happens. But
Tom Giussano?
No, Tom.
Oh.
Lawyer Tom. Star Wars Santa says, got my laptop set up while I work on to get my PC working, going live at the top of the hour. So everybody go. I'm gonna go right now and get lunch. I'm
Pentium 586, Jason. He's got Dark Forces on that sucker.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he's got MMX.
Yeah.
Right. He could do all that shit. He's good.
But yeah, everybody go hang out on Santa's show after this, and then as
Santa,
I'll be here tomorrow.
Oh, Jedi Mike, he's already there. He's just waiting.
Yeah, as a trick, if my computer works and I'm not sicker, I don't think I'm going to be sicker. I think I'll be better. So I plan on doing one, and we're going to hit the some of Bestman's news, and then we'll get into the game news, and you'll tell me everything I've missed about what's up there, and everybody. He has a lot of subscribers, but if you don't subscribe to As the Truth channel for gaming, you should, and make sure you subscribe to Santa's channel for positive Star Wars. Nice guy.
I only care when Santa. I love it when Santa reads the Thrawn books. I don't like when Santa speculates about Thrawn. Right? Just stick to reading the books, Santa. All right.
Stick to the script.
Yeah, it's your best work. Okay. Like, I really enjoy that. I don't even like the fucking books. You know, I just like that he likes them.
Yeah.
Garth
Knight for 99 Super Chat says the only thing we've all ever agreed on was Swayze should have been a Jedi in the prequels.
He should have. He should have been Qui-Gon.
Yeah. He should have been one of those Boken Jedi, you know, and he's just out
Jedi Roadhouse.
Jedi Roadhouse.
Yeah.
The Broken Baton.
Yeah. And his master was Chris Christopherson or Sam Elliott. Yeah, I get those two mixed up.
And then you have this like Jedi, and she's like doing some like Jedi pottery, and his Force Ghost pops up and starts doing it with her. You're like, oh my god.
Sam Elliott shows up. He goes, "Hey, mijo," right? Because you don't eat Padawan, right?
Mijo.
Yeah.
Thank you, Garth.
I like.
Yeah, so as it says, we have a lot of game stuff to hit. All right, cool. As it true, you gonna come on Fortnite with us today and get your Ahsoka Tano?
No. Oh, I do want to tell As it true. I got something gamers hate. I got this other than syphilis. I got this Logitech Cloud Go. Logitech Go. So it's a handheld that I can stream my PS5 and Xbox to in my house. And I got to set it up pretty easily. And it works great, man.
Did you see me?
Yeah, I saw him while I was playing Forza 5. I ignored him, but I'm beating all your scores in Forza 5, which admittedly aren't much. So because you only played it once, apparently.
I don't even think I played it. I think my son might have installed it. I
have all the songs from Iron Eagle, and I just drive through Forza, and
Well, may the Forza be with you, Rob, on your quest,
and also with you.
Yeah, I'm going to the Hot Wheels track next. Can't wait.
Yeah, you should come on Fortnite with us now. Get your Ahsoka.
No.
Come on. We're still going to send you the invites until you want to follow us, till you block us.
Yeah. Ooh, I can block you.
You can block us. It's true.
I like that you know when I blocked you, but then I want to unblock you and reblock you again, so you know I blocked you again.
Yeah. I mean, you can just tell me you blocked me every day on the show, and that'll be kind of.
I like being on the show. Just hate being on Fortnite.
As it's true,
but Fortnite is where you go to get plot points for episode 9. So that's how the whole movie makes sense if you play Fortnite.
Well, as it's true, this week or right now is the Ahsoka like stuff. So when you want to get your when you want to do the Ahsoka challenge to unlock the character, if you do, let us know, and me and the bulletin will take you through and help you do the quest so you can get all the stuff. I got her owl as a back bling. It's actually like two things about it, okay? They did a good job with it, but it doesn't come with the white outfit. There's no alternate outfit for the white one. And she doesn't have a glider. But they made the spaceship, and it's like an emote. She like rides on her ship. And the owl, I'm like, she had a glider in the spaceship and a glider in the owl. Like both
I want
of
to give
those
you some props too, Jason.
Mm-hmm.
You made me consider something this week. So I was on my Logitech Go and I loaded up Demon Souls right on my PS5 on it.
Okay.
And I really love that game. It looks brilliant. On the handheld, it looks fine. The screen's good, but it's not my TV, right? My TV has HDR. Yeah. It's fucking crazy. So I started thinking maybe that Zelda game would look better on my TV. So I'm going to dig out the fucking that docking station, which I've, and put it on my TV and see if that Tears of the Kingdom looks better on my TV than the Switch.
Like, well,
I've only played it in handheld mode.
Two things about that though. Number one is I think it's that is the best game I've played in the last 10 years. Better than any Star Wars game, better than any game. It doesn't matter that the graphics, doesn't matter when it came out. The game is timelessly good in my opinion. Get off that island for the start. But
I'm off the island.
All of the stuff about the next Switch, the Switch 2, and some of the stuff that they've said make me think that game is going to be coming out on there. And if that's the case, you would be better served just to wait until we have definitive word.
I already own the game.
Yeah.
Like whatever.
But
some of the things that I fundamentally have a problem with are just like look, it's not the game's fault for this. Okay, well, the game's fault is that I want more foliage and fucking vinery and shit like that, right? Mm-hmm. But like I had that motorcycle horse thing in Breath of the Wild at the end, right? And I don't like not having all my shit. I feel like I'm playing the same game, but they Metroid me and took away all my stuff.
My hope, Rob, is that they take Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, mash them up, allow you to play one or the other, but also do a little bit of work to maybe let you use the princess's power to go between the timelines. Like, especially if you've already beat it, like in that way. Because most people who would
ideas.
No, but that would be a way of literally making. If they did that, it would be the best game with the best value of all fucking time. You know what I mean?
I like my motorcycle horse. I like the motorcycle horse. And when I don't have the motorcycle horse, I'm mad.
Yeah.
Now I'm stuck walking.
Everything is destroyed in that cataclysm. But if it
my friend goes, you can build one. I don't want to craft a horse. I like the one I had. It looked cool. My shit would look all rickety. Look like something Fat Albert and them made. You know what I mean? Like it's just
have you seen like the
yeah.
Have you seen like the ATSTs people making shit in that game? It's amazing.
Yeah, I saw someone make a hamburger in Starfield. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? I want my fucking motorcycle horse. Can I just pay for it? Can I just pay? Can they already have the model?
Impressed with the hamburger is George Lucas. It's calling it the Millennium Falcon, right? Taking the bite out.
Lonnie likes doggy style fries.
Doggy style.
Anyway, we gotta go.
Maybe.
We gotta go. I gotta go see the creator this week.
Yeah, me too. I want to see
the creator. Everyone, go see the creator. Everyone.
Yeah.
No, sir. Well, I don't like it. This episode.
We know a few people who've seen the creator now.
Well, I like the creator.
Yeah, it does. It seems like it's going to be a movie totally worth seeing, worth watching. Yes. However, it's also going to be one of those movies where it's like dumb bros first venture into sci-fi.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. I do think this movie could do 600 million overseas.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's being marketed very well here, but I think overseas it could do quite well. I'm not good at predicting financials. So
the early box office for it is very bad. Very grim.
Yes. But overseas it could be really, really well.
Yeah.
Remember, overseas, the Fast and the Furious did like $1 billion. They got a whole different thing overseas, right?
Yeah,
As a true saw Transformers 9 times. You know?
Yeah. 9 times?
9 times.
I don't remember him seeing it 9 times.
That was you. Who saw Tom Cruise 9 times because you're in a cult. You don't know it.
It's like Ferris Bueller 9
I was
times.
Joking. Exactly.
9
times. Everybody, we're going to go now. Thank you for hanging out, Max. And I canceled on Max last night because I didn't feel good. So I'm glad you're able to make it today. And then I'm gonna try to come back to tomorrow around the same time. Is the plan?
I started work at 5 this morning.
Oh damn!
Just to be here with you guys.
Thank you, Max.
You're welcome.
Oh, thank you. And then we made fun of you and we told you all your secrets.
Yeah, fuck off.
Yeah, thank you. We deserve it. We deserve it.
All right. Well, anyways, thank you to everybody for the super chats today, for being channel members. Thank you to everyone for liking the video, and for 82 of you who hung out with us. Like, that's a lot to be here at 2.5 hours in. So I appreciate that. But we'll be back really soon. And once the computer situation
for Jedi Mike, he's quitting.
Well, he's going to the rehab, so he'll be back.
Yeah. Coke habit.
Kidding. All right. Bye, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Purgatory. Why did you have to go to purgatory? Alien wants to know. Grand Admiral Thrawn.
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey. It's the end of the show. Come on, let's go. Hey. It's the end of the show. Come on, let's go. Hey. You know you should go. Come on, let's go. It's not about spaceships.